new, Mirko. Now, Masha, Balmond getting banned off the rip. I think
I'm gonna put myself above him.
Pretty kind of typical. How do you feel about the Balmond ban right now?
I'm just putting myself in there, chat.
So in Indonesia, I don't think Balmond is that meta right now in the ranked games, and even in the MDL that's also going on currently, the MDL play-ins. So I've actually been seeing a lot of Ling picks coming through in the MDL, and 1-1 has been ignored for the most part here. He didn't get picked up at all on the first day of MDL play-ins, so this is already something very interesting, right? You can already see the different maybe styles that instantly just constitutes the draft here. We can see the Masha, the Fanny ban, and that Balmond ban, which is very unique as an Indonesian.
Yeah, I mean, so Zane has been picking up the Balmond. I think some people have been seeing it. A few teams have picked it up and running it more tanky, right? And you kind of have a little bit of an advantage over some of these, over the Turtle, over the Lord. You get the lethal counter plus the Retry. So if you could time it right, you know, it can maybe give you the advantage to steal a couple objectives. Is it worth it? I think right now, that's the question, right? The Fanny, possibly a target ban, maybe a little bit of info on what some of the enemy players are playing. Definitely not something we see all the time. Now, the Franco, on the other hand, has definitely been a problem for a lot of teams, and if you don't want to run it, I think it's something you might want to get off.
Yeah, and speaking of Prio, speaking of the first bans and picks coming through, it's pretty interesting to me that Xavier has been left untouched here, right?
Yeah.
In Indonesia, ranked games, Xavier has been a favorite throughout this new patch, even after the quote-unquote nerfs. I believe it to be a shadow buff, or just, you know, we just call it an adjustment, right? But yeah, I feel like Xavier is still just really, really OP currently.
And
yeah, that's very questionable.
I've seen most teams banning it, of course, first pick. Some teams are even prioing it for that first pick. If they're not, it's a risk. Like, all right, the 1-1 getting banned now, so team, we smoke you, maybe taking the risk right now. Like, all right, maybe you pick up the Akai here, and we respond back with the Xavier and, you know, a powerful offlane. But the Julian also left untouched, and I've been watching Kush destroy teams with this Julian lately in the mid lane. So pretty excited to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, this is something different that we've seen, right? Again, Kush, or the mid lane Julian. This is something we've seen during MSC. I think it was Clay who brought it up first here, but I actually have had multiple conversations about this current patch. How is Julian going to be able to play here, considering that he got nerfed kind of a bit there, right?
All the core crap and everything, I hope it goes in our favor, so we
they
can
said that
actually
the Julian works better as a jungler right now, but I don't think it's right now. I don't think it's part of Mobile Zane's hero pool currently, so that's going to be Yuzong actually locked.
Oh, so I made a watch party voice chat. Just hop in the watch party voice chat, D's, if you want to hop in. Yeah, if anybody's running games today.
And, you know, talking about the Julian,
Marco,
I think right now, over here in NA, it hasn't really found its, like, golden spot. You know, it hasn't really... Some teams are still kind of playing with it, running as a jungler, running it as a mid lane mage. Some even trying it out in the off lane. I'm not too crazy about it. Terizla, though, getting locked in. Now, this is a hero, I think, is definitely something that is going to be showing up a lot, either in the XP lane or in the ban phase. It seems to be a problem for a lot of teams.
Absolutely, and you know what makes it great? It's the fact that
you can hear me, right?
It's very easy to flex this hero, right? Technically, yes, we have seen it mostly go to the XP lane, but I wouldn't be too surprised if Mobile Zane just pops this into the jungle. But on the other side now, this is a hero that I wanted to just mention earlier, but yeah, Karina coming out.
Yeah.
I've been playing a whole lot of Karina with the new full mage build, all right? And this hero does so much damage. I believe that a lot of pro players have been just calling this hero straight up broken with the current patch. But yeah, Karina,
yeah, that's why I muted like T-R3X in them.
Julian and the Beatrix. It's gonna be something maybe a doubt for them right now. You know, how are they gonna go at it against this Karina?
All right, muted Weezy in them.
I've been wondering about, right? So we've seen Zane actually pick up the damage Karina even in some of the qualifier games, and a few teams have been playing around with it, and I've been wondering, you know, is that the new thing? Are we no longer going to see this tank Karina? And you mentioned
doing good, man.
You know,
we're
the Julian
just enjoying a little bit of the watch party here.
He doesn't have that range that the Xavier or a lot of other mages has, so he's just a prime target. Same thing with the Beatrix. I think a big opportunity for Zane may, you know, to maybe go something bulkier.
I mean, if they pick anything right here, it's probably going to be a YSS if I had to imagine, maybe, or Paquito. I mean, They are target banning Mobazane though.
Very interesting ban, honestly. I think they're just narrowing down the hero pool for Mobazane currently. They're going for the Paquito ban. They're just taking it off of the table. Maybe another jungle ban here to finish it off.
very good target bans.
Yisun Shin, and we all know Mobazane, his Yisun Shin, he plays a mean Yisun Shin. Let's just say that, right? But I actually expected, honestly, BTK to go for the target bans towards the gold lane here. They actually opted to go for the Atlas ban, which is not really that surprising as well. It's a pretty good ban here, considering that.
Ooh, they're banning him out, bro.
They haven't picked up a roamer, but do they? Is this just like foreshadowing that they want to just target the roamer? Is it the roamer that has a narrow hero pool here that can be punished?
Definitely a good question. We have seen Prawny as the roamer in the qualifiers. He's picked up the Atlas. We've seen him play it. Kind of low performance on it though, but still the Atlas can be a problem, especially when you have like the Julian, who's very front line. You have this Terizla. If Mobazane opts to a ranged jungle, could also be themselves against a future threat here. We have also seen Prawny pick up
trying to like figure out if
Diggy hasn't been super popular, but with the jungle Akai or some of these heavier CCs, a couple teams have pulled it up as a clutch play.
Yeah,
I'm trying to see if I can mute it at like key points that I want to say something to you guys.
Claude for BTK. So literally, they're just trying to ensure that this Beatrix, that Zia in that gold lane gets all
they definitely need to pick up Claude. Oh, they opt to go for Brody.
Yeah, I was about to say right now it's either
they opt to go for a Brody. Mobazane? No way he's going Moskov. That is Mirko. That is Mirko. I don't think they're gonna pick up a Moskov. That seems like it might be too much, to be honest. I think they're just trolling. All this? I still don't know. I still think Mobazane's gonna pull out the YSS. I feel like they're just literally trolling us, to be honest. Yeah, this is going on right now. This is not the only stream. He does lock the Aulus.
I have not seen the Aulus play competitively yet from Zane. I mean, I've seen him joke around with it in some streams that maybe I've tuned in on and this and that.
I can see it.
But I have not seen locked in.
Mobazane's a lot faster than your typical person, though.
A little weak.
All of the original live stream links are in the bio of the stream. Daniel, by the way, it's on all of the official North American things.
I'm a little iffy about the Aulus pick, man.
Yeah, the Aulus pick is definitely a unique pick here, considering that, again, you know, we haven't seen
from
Aulus
last night.
in a very long time, especially in competitive play.
If you get locked down, it's GG's.
I do want to put some emphasis on that Kufra pick, because I feel like it's just a really
I mean, we smoke you's looking good, other than that Yuzong
as well. You know, they're taking away a lot of that damage coming through from that Beatrix with the shield that
possibly good sustainable, but
yeah, it's just a very solid
I don't know if you can keep up against fried chicken.
Like, though, with the Kufra pick, it will make the Karina have a kind of a tough time getting into that back line. So right now,
they're super squishy.
They've wrapped up their drafts. It's gonna be very interesting in the individual matchups. You know, I would actually take Yuzong over Terizla in lane.
Yeah, and that's so. With Terizla being new, it's something I've been wondering. Like, how does he match up against everyone? Yes, he has some great sustainability in the end game, and Yuzong. A lot of like after Thamu's got buffed up, I've been seeing a lot of that. The Esmeralda still pretty popular. The Dairoth to counter the Esmeralda, some of these things. But the Yuzong has.
I mean, I might have to end up playing it after I see what's going down here.
Been like to counter that as hard. Excited to see how this plans out, though. Game 1, BTK versus We Smoke You. You know, BTK back in the NACT, here to take back the throne. So the question is, can We Smoke You give them a challenge? The question is, can We Smoke You possibly smoke you?
That's the big question right now, right? Because currently, I believe that, yeah, it's just BTK who are the favorites right now, right? We're going to have to see that maybe
I wish I could control the game sound. I think sometimes it's going to be a lot louder than I want it to be.
And We Smoke You right now, they are actually going to.
Do you guys want me to mute it and cast, or do you want to listen to them cast?
Themselves into that top side river, but Shark just goes in, dishes out some damage, and that's the damage coming through from Shark as well, from Kush as well.
I'm kind of trying to learn from Mirko here.
It looks like there's going to be an engage here. Mystic Field is going to be able to lock Kush in place, but yeah, no real commitment. It's just going to be the Steven getting that Litho Wanderer and getting up.
Oh! See, look, I told you, bro.
maybe I was wrong, you know. Flight Chicken.
There ain't no way ETHERAL is gonna lose to Yuzong.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a misplay there. I don't know exactly what happened.
I can always turn him down a little
definitely
bit.
A great EXP laner.
Like, put him like right here below me.
I don't think it should have went down like that. One thing I do want to point out, Shark
let it
Kush
flow.
right now,
Can't get some extra
aggressive,
tips.
staying on the opposite side of the river, knowing, testing their distance. Maybe BTK just feels like they have the better mechanical skills here, but Shark may be in a bad spot.
Yeah, the Steven once again, he's just showing this early game presence with the Karina, but you can already see Mobazane. He's trading on the map really well. He's actually able to somewhat stay even at this stage of the game. You know,
I'm gonna have to try all this out.
Sure, it's the damage. Oh! In the mid lane there, bottom side river, it is gonna be Prawny who gets caught out. A very good pickoff coming in from Kush and with the help of Shark as well.
Kush.
Yeah, Shark gonna definitely be setting up plays, and we're seeing him look for them. We're seeing him wait for even ambushes, and that's what I like to see. Mobazane does get a kill early on, and I was worried about the early game of Mobazane on this Alice, but getting some kills
already looking rough for
these
WeSmoke you.
first 2 minutes is going to help him scale even faster. So good spot. Donnie Light does connect on the turtle, but this should be an uncontested turtle here.
Yeah, the Steven, he walks up a little bit too aggressively there. He tries to go for
oh my
steal, but
god.
Another solo kill by Flight Chicken. And WeSmoke you. They're trying to look for compensation here. They go.
Oh, he's going to clean that up, and at what cost? You are dead.
As well. Flight Chicken just gets even more massive on the top side. That's another solo kill.
Oh my, BTK is just making
scoreboard right now.
The choke's about to happen.
Very thirsty for blood right now, and this is a bad spot to be against BTK. You know, one thing I can say is, when you're going against them, you can't let them snowball, man. You cannot let them get that early game advantage, because they're just going to carry that and keep being aggressive. Shark is
like
the
a
aggressive
3-minute item check.
Constantly be trying to make plays. As we're seeing right now in the top lane, Haru will go down.
Yeah.
That kill goes to Shark, and this is exactly what I'm
talking about. You can tell the control.
Oh
like,
man, they can't even find Kush here. Shark is going to be able to find a kill for Kush. He is going to pop that bouncing ball.
Million blast, but it's not enough.
He does not connect on it.
That doesn't even flicker for it.
There, but Prawny, he's looking for more. He jumps in onto Zia, which will not do. I mean, Zia will not be able to punish him that much, considering he does have his shield. But again, like you mentioned, BTK, this composition
Yuzong is not
have that early game control.
Is not what you wanted to pick here.
Again, through their individual mechanics, they're able to win it out. Here in the bottom side, though, Brandon finally showing that Yuzong power, but seems to be losing out of the trade once again. He is a few kills behind.
Yeah, he's definitely a few kills behind, probably a little gold behind. Looking at him, 1,700. Up against Fried Chicken now, has a full 1,000 gold lead, already locked in that Bloodlust axe. Yeah. Definitely going to be a problem for Brandon. I think at this point, what I want to see from WeSmoke you, if you want to stay in this game, is make some off-play ganks, stay away from that mid-trio. Just like that, Mobazane gets a kill onto Xavier there.
Yeah, and they're not able to find any trades as of right now.
Even Export's good for Terizla counter.
Once again, he's just gonna get zoned away, and this is gonna be
oh my god!
They're looking for more. Tyrant's Rage there, not able to connect. Steven gets out. The Dawning Light comes through, but another solo kill down below. Flight Chicken is massive in this game. 4-1-0.
Terizla's just
gonna
broken.
Be a big problem as we creep into the mid game here. Flight Chicken sitting at that. I'm just waiting for him to take that tower and then start rotating in, coming in with that penalty zone, making a big tick. Shark picking up on Haru. Zia gets the kill. I mean, this is looking very, very rough.
Well-oiled right now.
9-1, a 4,000 gold lead to BTK.
Look at
and
that.
It just keeps going
the
up.
snowball
maybe
is happening.
Just needs to maybe sacrifice a few towers here, lay low, and push on for the late game. But even then, you know, Zia, BTK has late game insurance as well with the Aulis and the Beatrix.
I'm not shoutcasting today, no. I'm just watching. I won't be shoutcasting until like the 14th.
A little bit longer, but they're gonna get punished all across the map. Even the Nibiru's
I know.
Passion up top, he does not care about the shields there. Nibiru's Passion goes straight through, and that's another kill.
I wanted to see WeSmoke you put up a little bit of a battle, but now they're invading. Penalty zone coming out. Like, there's that Steven. Steven died instantly. Look at that. It's GG's.
Into his own purple buff. BTK, they know when to punish. They're going for it. And it seems like line, even the mid lane. Xavier, once again,
might be the first surrender we've ever seen. Oh my god.
And Kush picks up the kill. Total domination here from BTK, but Kush, he wants more. He jumps in under turn. Chicken to follow it through. They get one more kill. Brandon goes in for the Furious Dive to disengage, but again, BTK,
oh my god.
They go in one more
dude, they're
time.
just
the Zonies members.
bro.
Steven gets caught once again.
This is too easy for BTK.
And it is looking bad for
fastest finish in the world.
Yeah, you know it's a bad, you know you're having a rough game when you can't even when you're saying that going into your own blue buff is an overextension.
It looks like a classic
BTK
match.
Just smothering them at this point, and they're all over
the choke's already it's already 11k gold almost.
You have Fried Chicken coming in from a different angle. When Fried Chicken backs off, you have Kush coming in from a different angle. Then comes
the Lord's
Zia
not
with
even
the
there yet.
Passion. So I mean, their rotations right now, they're micro, and some of these team fights definitely looking very
literally before
clean.
8 minutes already almost taking out all of the tier 2 towers.
Keep up. We went for
look
a
at
5k gold lead, but look at Brandon just getting smashed down from Fried Chicken.
Yeah,
That's
the draft does not matter here.
1 and 3 right now.
Yeah, like you mentioned, right? I mean, it's
the casters can't even get hyped over this.
Very tough spot for We Smoke You, and it's them overextending when they go to their own turret, right? At this point, it's getting to a point where BTK, they're just controlling every single thing on the map, and it's all because of that bush control. BTK, they're just so smart.
Oh my god, that Julian damage.
A quarter of Haru's HP out there, and the Steven, he even as a Karina here with that first ability is just taking so much damage. Zia sieging down that top side turret, dawning light there from the Xavier to clear out the minion waves, but it is going to be the turret passive.
They're trying to get that initial burst damage off of the towers.
He can go dive
Ooh,
in.
Shark wants in there. They want to finish this early.
The follow-up is there. That's the chain connecting to the back lines. Mobile saying looking for more here, but it is We Smoke You forced to back up.
Dude, you can't. They can't even. They can't even go out, bro.
He's trying to get more, but he is only
fastest finish in the tournament.
Shark falls in that skirmish, and it is going to be BTK looking for the objective up top. Brandon getting a really good Furious Dive.
NGGs.
But he will be the one taken down. Again, Moba Zane jumping in. The damage comes through, and it is not enough to take
8 minutes and 13 seconds.
Kill for Zane.
8 minutes and 13
we didn't even see a Lord
seconds.
That game. What was that? 8.5 minutes?
It didn't even get to
BTK
a Lord.
Just showing their prowess. I mean, and even towards the end, they didn't even really they didn't stall lanes. They weren't trying to starve them. We just want to end this. We just want to end this quick. And they came in very strong. 21 and 2, 8 minutes, 14 seconds.
It is not forbidden.
We Smoke You has to find something to do
the
if they
links
to
to the official pages, the official Moontown pages that are hosting them are in the link of this video.
That's something we rarely see nowadays, considering that, again, you know, Moontown has actually
I'm gonna
in the base. They've given it the passive. It still doesn't matter to BTK, though. I like how they
this was just so easy.
It was so easy. Mid to late game composition.
Yeah, that was absolutely a slaughter.
To control the game so early.
I'm gonna mute them for right now. If you guys are tuning in, I appreciate it. I am an NACT caster, so I'm just currently kind of hosting a watch party, kind of giving my ideals and situations on it. But definitely, if you guys want to, all the links to the North American Moonton official pages that are streaming it are in the video. But I'm currently just kind of have a watch party with a lot of friends and family on YouTube and stuff. So just make sure to hit a subscribe, turn those notifications on. I will be watching this live every single day. No problem, Forbidden. I appreciate it, dude. Much love. Much love. Dang, they missed a lot of bans here.
Chicken was dominating Brandon in the off lane there.
I think they're rushing this too fast.
And it looks like BTK showing a respect ban.
We didn't even get to
kind of surprising.
Participate in the very first 3 bans.
Yeah, I really
like the first pick's already happening.
So you can see right from BTK as well.
There are many good squads in it, but aren't interested in turning. Dude, same.
Still giving respect to the enemy team and banning out one of the heroes.
Dude, they pick up the Julian this time.
This time though, again, different approach from We Smoke You. They take the blue side first pick, and instantly they go for Terizla ban like you mentioned, and they pick up the Julian.
I'm not sure if that's really worth it. Maybe they didn't. They banned the Terizla. They banned the Balmon. Both of them are heavy hitters. The Valentina got out of there.
But if they want to go for the gold lane dominance once again, Beatrix, it's just
You want a 7-minute in? We'll find out.
Yeah, she's definitely been a monster. Also, I mean, and with the 1-1 out of place, Zia does like to run the 1-1, but even they've been banning it because they just don't want to give it over. I will say that Mobazane is on the same boat as you of running that damage Karina.
6
we've
minute
seen him
in.
playing it. He played it in some scrims. He's played it. Ooh, Zia getting spicy with the Bruno.
Cho is
I've
open.
heard you cast it before saying Bruno's something you've been wanting to see in the gold lane, right?
Yes.
So maybe that's a pick for you.
Maz.
I saw this in MSC, right? But in MSC, we didn't really get to see the Bruno shine.
I mean, you guys Esme,
hopefully
you got
we get to see Zia
Maz,
pop off in lane, and especially in these team fights, man.
You got a lot of fighters open.
I have to say, there you go.
But they go for the Doroth.
So interesting to see because they picked up the Dairoth, not knowing the matchup yet, right? Because again, Dairoth.
I mean, Fried Chicken doesn't even care, bro. He's literally just gonna dominate his XP lane.
If you just pick it blindly, it is kind of interesting because it can be punished very easily. The Selena,
that's how.
This is something that we actually got to see from.
Oh my God, are they gonna? Why?
In the previous matches, and they also go for Franco, so they're relying heavily on their pick composition right now.
Yeah, definitely.
It is going to be so hard.
A little bit of engage, a little bit of pull.
Or we smoke you right now.
The thing is with this Julian and
like
this
they
Selena,
have to hit.
and now the Franco showing that's going to be their roam, right? Is this Julian going to be an off-lane jungle? I'm wondering where they're going to flex it to. Is the Selena? I'm guessing the Selena's going to be support mid. I mean, some teams have runner as a roam occasionally, but with the Franco, obviously they're most likely not going to do that. So. Brandon, I'm pretty sure, was the EXP laner last game, so maybe that's the idea here. You mentioned jungle, so maybe we'll see him there. A lot of possibilities I'm seeing from the side of We Smoke You right now.
Yeah, I do need to mention the Cyclops pick is pretty interesting, but again, it's just BTK being BTK at this point, right? They just keep on trolling us with the hovers. They go for Nana earlier,
he's going for the Paquito, even though that we've seen him. He's lost 2 games in our scrims with a Paquito.
Right? But back again to the point of Selena. Now, I actually dislike Selena in the mid lane. As a roamer, really love it. You're able to open up the map really well with the Abyssal Traps. You're able to go for the pickoffs, obviously, with the Abyssal Arrow, and you just provide so much of map pressure in general and the kill pressure in the early game. But if you put the Selena as a mid lane, especially considering that BTK, they really like those
Paquito is really good.
Heavy wave clear mid laners.
They just learned him last night.
For the Selena, you know, he's gonna get pushed and shoved in every second of this game.
In and out of Brody.
Yeah, especially in, you know, you mentioned the Xavier still open right now. Lots of possibilities for Kush to pick up.
I don't know if
the pick of his litter essentially right now. And as even with me saying that, Smokey continues to not ban out any mages here. Selena will definitely get bullied by high ground. Definitely have a lot of trouble. Not be able to clear. Be forced to stay in that mid lane possibly, and not be able to catch those rotations. Not be able to try to get ganks with those abyssal arrows.
Oh yeah, I mean Lolita a counter both.
Mobazane on this Paquito.
Selena and
now,
Franco.
Paquito recently got the buff. I haven't gotten to see him a whole lot. What are your opinions on the jungle Paquito right now?
Yeah, they did buff the jab, right? They just buffed the jab, but it feels so much stronger, to be completely honest with you. I've been playing Paquito. I've been testing him out here and there, and the damage output that you can get out of this guy right now is pretty insane, especially when you combo that second ability with your passive, so you can do it twice. You can literally
we do have some
even a Franco
possible technical problems going on in the background that you guys can't see. From what I'm hearing in the chat is that one of the members of We Smoke You is having severe technical problems.
And it seems like
I don't know if they'll do anything about that. Shark's picking up Lolita 100%.
There's a little bit of miscommunication. They didn't know what.
I mean, Lolita's gonna counter the marksman they haven't chose yet, the Franco, the Selena. Like it's gonna counter like 75% of their team.
Pressure onto We Smoke You.
Oh yeah. Oh. A little more hover play. Don't know if that's it is at this point. We may just be seeing BTK having a bit of fun here.
Oh Jesus!
We'll see. I do like the Ling pick coming from We Smoke.
Just need some time to grab tissues.
I do feel
the
like
shade.
I feel like his
a mid lane Johnson.
At least from what I've been seeing some of the games, it just
a
seems like a little
Johnson.
lacking. I do love the mobility, and I don't know if it's just some of the players I've been seeing playing him.
Thanks
or
for the
what
sub,
exactly
fam.
it is, but it hasn't been as shiny as I want it to be.
Bro.
I feel like the Ling is
Shark
slowly
goes dead.
falling down. Yes, you get a lot from him.
That would be amazing.
If you can't do the damage that you want, you can always turn him into a split pusher, and you still have all of
BTK
those
just ended
utilities from the
last
Ling
game
itself.
in 8 minutes. Like
But
world
overall,
record
as
material.
like a major engager, he hasn't been exactly what I normally used to see him as.
Oh, okay. These are very interesting picks. Once again,
What is that skin?
Who's going to the jungle? It's most probably just the Ling, but the Julian will have to go to gold lane. Lapu's going to go to XP lane. That
let me
means,
see Odette, dude. I'm telling you.
Right
Let's see an Odette, bro. BTK throws.
I thought that they want to go for the Kadita with the Johnson pick, but sure, Gord works too. Let's see what he can do, especially paired in with a Johnson that just likes to dive in. I really hope he uses I really hope that he uses the skin. Yeah, he's going to use the Transformer skin, man.
Of course. And with this draft about to start, let us know in the chat.
From what I'm seeing,
ladies and gentlemen, let's jump straight into the Land of Dawn for game number 2. Let's see, is it going to be a 2-0 clean sweep for BTK? Maybe another dominant
man
game
said
here,
magic dust. He did.
Go for an early game composition this time around.
Yeah, and we see this Johnson, we see this Gord, we see this Bruno, and what better time to test out some new things when you're up one game, right? Like, especially when you beat We Smoke You pretty dominantly in game 1. So maybe this is a great time for BTK to try out some new compositions, test them a little bit, see how comfortable they are with them, and maybe that's kind of what we're seeing here.
I think they're about to be restarting the game.
Right now. Look at BTK's movement on the map. We can already see that there's a pause. I think it's the Lapu. Yeah, it is the Lapu.
I'm pretty sure Brandon on the side of We Smoke You is not in the game right now.
Positioning already in the map.
It looks like the tournament lobby bugged out.
That this Ling, that the Steven, he just always wants to go for the Lethal Wanderer contest.
Dave is doing the camera.
We know that, and
I think
they instantly just go for the orange buff here. They're trying to punish him when he does get back to the orange buff, when he goes for it.
Huge technical difficulties from We Smoke You, though.
Good movement from BTK, as they can just straight up punish the Ling, and if Ling gets punished in the early stages like this without his purple buff, it is going to be
Brandon call.
A huge problem, right? Without any buffs, I feel like Ling will have a problem without being able to farm up, right? And it looks like BTK wants to be aggressive. Like you said, we literally have Shark right now up against the inhibitor tower practically.
They're good,
apparently.
apparently.
A few technical difficulties, possible disconnect. Players should be reconnecting soon. People behind the scenes are right now. So while we're doing this, of course, it gives me and Mirko a little bit of time to bond here, a little bit of time to talk about
T-R3X over here simping.
Maybe pick your brain a little bit. So we see the Gord on the field right now. Gord recently got a buff. I've never really considered him meta. I don't think he's ever been a super popular,
I told T-R3X that Gord could possibly have a comeback.
What are your opinions on him right now? Does he have a chance to maybe creep back in?
Well, yeah, I've been watching a whole lot of Naisu streams. He used to be
a French dude.
Gord, so I've been getting
dude got the overalls.
Some good data.
Never had bugs.
I feel like
but in game have 0 bugs. The tournament lobby is really buggy, to be honest.
The meta is shifting over to that burst type of.
But it looks like we're back in it.
We go for very fast team fights, burst team fights, and we get out. Go in.
The funny thing is that they swapped.
What's
looking zesty.
It seems like there's an invade going on into the enemy base. Fried Chicken is trying to join Shark here.
Wait a second.
You're trolling right now?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing right now. It seems like they are just trolling.
Fried Chicken was just in their base, bro.
He's in the enemy jungle, going in. Prawny now. He is going to be looking for something.
Do you think BTK is being a little too,
just zone Fried Chicken away from his Ling's jungle? But again, you can already see BTK having a whole lot of fun
inside their
here
base
in game number 2, and Shark might even be able to steal that away. He doesn't get it.
Bro.
Steven trying to punish him now, jumping in with a Divine Blade, but Kush once again, just comes in for
That's
that
what I'm
back
saying.
clearing out
They're
the
just
lane.
having fun with it, bro.
Not like this, BTK. Not like this. You know,
Oh my
we
God,
get it.
what?
We get it.
They've already taken out
one, but you know,
what is going on
the
here?
rookies. Shark giving over.
They've already taken out top tower.
Already being extremely aggressive. Look at him in the top lane right now, just hanging out.
What in the world?
There's nothing you can do about it.
BTK,
Guessing we had some possible issues from the side. Kush taking some big damage though.
Oh, almost gets taken down there, but Zia pops in the wave of the world, trying to get compensation.
How did they lose a tower in 1 minute?
But again, both teams, they just reset. This is the kill pressure that we did mention about the Selena in the mid lane.
Well,
but again,
there's someone in the base, they're not even moving.
Because the lane just keeps on getting shoved in. The Steven doesn't have his purple buff. He has to go on to his purple buff first, and this will just give over control.
Lapu's AFK, yeah.
Turtle, Shark. Yeah, he's just having fun with rapid touchdown. He connects it onto Prawny. He's gonna have to dodge the hook here, but no, Prawny doesn't even go for the hook. Yeah, they back up, and it's a free turtle for now for BTK. But they don't take it.
I think the question on everyone's mind right now, Haru still sitting in the base. You know, I'm guessing maybe something happened here, maybe some miscommunication. Of course, this is an online tournament. Players are expected to be ready on time, do their thing. So maybe Haru just wasn't able to make the cut, or something's going on. But this could, I mean, at this point, we smoke you.
There's a lot of technical problems already going on in game one.
Maybe it's, I mean, at this point, with the way that,
dude, Shark
things
took
are
out,
going, I got
dude, Shark took out top tower in 1 minute. Is what I'm saying.
Fun meta, that's what I like to call it. The assassins, the damage dealing, and look, in the top side, Zia actually gets picked off, and we smoke you. They get first.
I don't think Haru's coming back.
That's big. We smoke you.
They're about to go 4v5 against
so
BTK.
The rotation's definitely falling a little bit. Turtle
yeah,
is
I don't
up.
know.
Ling not doing a bad job, sitting at 2,000
L.
gold.
100% L.
To engage. Maybe BTK knows there was
cash the cashers.
Like, let's do this. Let's keep this fair. Steven now working on this turtle, but this just kind of shows, even with the first blood, BTK making the rotations quick to the mark, knowing that.
Oh yeah, the suspenders from T-R3X and the tie.
We're gonna rotate.
Yeah, this is
jungle
GG's,
faster
man.
than you. We're gonna make taps faster than you. And even
I mean, blue team got the turtle though.
Takes first turtle of the game. BTK still holding the lead.
Yeah, and Mobazane looking for a cheeky gank.
Look at this.
There. He goes
a
for
cheeky gank.
That can be Brandon, who actually is able to flicker out of White Chicken's Abyssum Strike. Meanwhile, Shark with a rapid touchdown, and Kush in the backseat. He goes in for a big laser beam, but he will not find.
Not gonna lie, sub me and coach.
Steven, he gets the orange buff. BTK seems like they're just gonna go for the turret on the bottom side. Look for the trade here.
Hey, no jungle emblem. They need me to hop in. This is worse than a rank match.
Nice pick, and this is what you're gonna see from the Johnson.
At least in the rank, they troll pick a Mia or a Layla, you know, and they're in the game still.
Bottom lane tower also down. BTK building up the same steam that we saw in game one, but a little bit of an engage here. Shark will disengage.
Might have to send me the video.
Safety. So Steven still being pretty aggressive. I do like watching him on this Ling. Maybe something that would have been nice to see in game one. And comes in, Kush popping the ultimate.
Oh my god.
BTK.
What is going on here? How is this a tournament?
You can see BTK just having fun with it. Prawny trying to punish Mobazane in the jungle. With that play, yeah, that was a questionable one. Zia now looking for the plays into the mid lane with Steven jumping onto him. Mobazane looking for the pickoffs, goes in for the knockout strike and the jab to finish him off. Meanwhile, Steven popping that Tempest of Blaze to get out.
This ain't looking good for
to finish him off.
Not looking good. Why no pause? Apparently Haru is gone. Like he has like his internet went out. Something like that. Now they're going 4v5.
Making their way down.
I don't know why they're not like restarting. I don't know if he can even get back in the game. I think they just have to go 1v5.
He's still keeping up a fight, man. He's still trying.
This is very...
Even pushing Shark away at times. Brandon catching White Chicken off here.
Oh yeah, but it turns it around here. That's going to be the
clown fiesta. That's what I was saying, bro. BTK just ended, bro. I'll push mid.
And in that top side, turtle traded.
Yeah, we smoke you having severe difficulties, to be honest.
Now 3K gold.
Haru
BTK
is like,
continues to
I don't know what it is. He's using the excuse if they're affected by the outage.
But he has been farming this whole time, sitting at 4,100. More gold than anyone on the enemy team.
Another 5 seasons.
Of the enemy team. So that is a good position to be.
Oh my God, they're about to do it again,
right now.
bro.
Shark and Kush continuing to make their way downtown here. I don't know exactly
They
want to
kill Haru.
this, but it is.
What is going on here? How did Franco get that kill?
Pops in a rapid touchdown twice there. Mystic Gush as well, just to dish out the damage onto Haru. He's been soaking in a whole lot of damage for the team as V-Smoke are able to punish in that top side. No, Abyssal Arrow actually connects on the Flying Chicken. Attempts to blade there. Off by Steven, goes in for the Defiant Blade, and will be able to find it. Mobazane in the 1v3 goes in and is able to shut them down, taking 2 here for the price of 1. And again, Mobazane, he's still massive in this game. Yes, it has been mostly BTK somewhat playing around, but Zane has been farming so efficiently, going in, pathing in the jungle really well, and even stealing out some camps from We Smoke You.
Yeah, definitely doing a good job at
Welcome
that.
to the circus.
They are starting to kind of group together a bit more.
That's kind of ridiculous, to be honest.
Touchdown. They need to be careful of that. They can't let that crash come in, especially at the disadvantage they're at right now. But We Smoke You, I think at this point, We Smoke You needs to get group up, stay together. You don't want to get caught off guard. Big rapid touchdown, though.
Yeah, Temple Blade as well to follow it through. They will be able to find 1, 2. There, Kush getting caught low there, who's still able to run away, but not for long. Steven catches up. Zia comes in with Waves of the World, trying to lock them down as White Chicken is there to provide the backup. That's the backline target, but Steven gets
They're just gonna wipe
down,
him, finish
and that's
it.
gonna be Zia picking up a shutdown again. It's a double for Zia, and it's somewhat of wipeout. 4-0. Haru still in that base.
Yeah, this is rough. Lord, back up now, 8 minutes in. Looking at some of these items. White Chicken, it's got the War Axe, got the Bloodlust Axe. Finally got that core set ready to go, ready to make the plays. Bruno with the Endless Battle, Berserker Fury. Now looks like, is that a Blade of Despair coming in now to even stack on a bit more damage here? So, I mean, we're just looking at a big, high damage, high engage, high aggressive composition from BTK right now.
Haru still at the base.
A little bit of action in the top. Zia almost getting locked down there.
Oh yeah, Zia will still fall there, even after kiting away, and that Shark dodging away. Goes in for a rapid touchdown earlier, wasn't able to find any pace, but in the bottom side, once again, we can see that Mobazane just so massive at this point. He's able to dive the turret.
I think they're just trying to, like, watch the game, like, at least have something, like, it's gonna be 4v5.
In the mid lane, will lose out on his life here inside of the base.
ENC spam.
Just maybe, Kush can come in with a Mystic Gush, gets the stun in.
I mean, they might get, who's doing it? I mean, again,
2 currently in the 9th minute.
It could be a disqualification if they keep like TPing and emoting.
Like we said in the beginning, having some fun with it. 10-10. BTK holding this lead. Lord is up at this point. I got a feeling BTK might not even want to go for Lord. Let's just try to. They didn't take a Lord last game. This game
I
is
guess
going
they are keeping it interesting
than what we saw
wasting some
Kush
time
with the recalls. White Chicken Shark.
El Haru, yeah.
Come back into this battle. Mobazane and Zia coming in onto this front line. Don't think they're going to try to force this tower just yet, but you know, it's a bad position.
I know if BTK gets the,
wondering exactly.
I feel like the one team that'd be able to.
I'd love to kind of be the devil's advocate for the team that is falling behind.
I mean, well, I don't know.
It's hard to build a case for them right now. If I was a lawyer, this is not a case I'd want to pick up.
Yeah, for sure. You know, right now it just seems like, again, pure
T-R3X bringing lawyers into it.
Touchdown again used by Shark.
Are they gonna go into the base again? Let's get it, Shark. Oh, they're bringing Mobazane into the base this time. Oh my God, there's 3 of them going into the base. They did get Haru.
Haru finally falls in that base. So you know, there's progress here from BTK. Earlier on, they were getting wiped by Haru, but in that top side, Zia trying to cut away, gets suppressed. Bloody pun in the Temple Blade.
Watch BTK lose.
Steven, once again, it is a 1-for-1. But no, it's actually 1-for-3 technically. 1-for-4 maybe.
I think we found the mission, right? We found the mission of BTK. Kill Haru. Do everything we can. Kill Haru, and they have finally completed that. Is Haru back to moving right now? So it looks like we may finally have him. You know, some of these guys are at home playing. Maybe we had some parents yelling, get off your phone. Who knows exactly what's going on, but a fight is breaking down in the bottom here, Mirko.
Oh man, he's just diving in mid lane.
Fried Chicken up, but the rapid touchdown was not popped there to go in for the bottom side. Fried Chicken still trying to run away, as that's We Smoke You.
I guess, I mean, it's kind of entertaining.
Rapid touchdown being used just to open up the map a little bit. Mobazane trying to punish that movement from the
dude, his internet's been killing it, apparently. Apparently, he's affected by the Canada outage, but I don't know.
Maybe Brandon is.
I do know. I mean, that's what they're saying.
Punished here by Mobazane.
Ooh, can he get away? No, he cannot.
Pick it up, and Shark picks up an assist, goes in for rapid touchdown. Is even connected this time, and the Mystic Gush to follow it through will find Steven. That Abyssal Arrow does not connect onto Kush. BTK are safe.
Yeah, and you can tell We Smoke You when Shark
is he like in AI mode?
Map when that in that rapid touch, and you can tell they all kind of like disperse. They didn't want to force a fight. They know what's coming, and at this point, you know, they want to try to maybe even bait that engage. You know, bait that engage from Shark, and then come around at some angles. You know, they do have the Ling, they do have the possibilities for those type of plays to get to the back line, but they don't want to take BTK
I don't know.
head on right
Again,
now. Zia now taking an
inhibitor
away
like
from
certain places in Canada. I don't know. That's just the background that I got.
Yeah, Abyssal Arrow connected.
You reconnected? That's what it seems like. Oh my god.
Base will be able to enable Zia to come in, but it is going to be him executed by the base turret. Now Zia looking for more. Wave the world there, connecting.
In rank, this would be an invalid match.
For the damage, but he will be the one who gets caught in the stun.
The Lord's coming down.
More on to that base, gets caught low. All three of them.
Bruno's just like
low here, but Lord is
oh my god, look at the Bruno's damage. Oh, Bruno overstep.
And that's game number 2 done and dusted. A clean sweep for BTK.
No, this ain't the only game we got. This is game 1 out of 4.
Sweep.
Or round 1 out of 4.
I wanted to see it. You know, the second game was a bit of a fun match, you could say. But BTK does move forward, and they were prepared for this. They were ready for this. And I think it's something we all expect to see. And in the top 32, you know, as I mentioned, a lot of these teams are newer teams, still getting comfortable with this competitive style.
This is a problem when we don't have like an actual arena that everything can be hosted on LAN connection, you know?
So BTK takes their rightful place in the next game. I think some of these stats, I mean, yeah, I could talk about the
best
stats,
out of 3,
but it was a bit of a weird game to kind of go into discussion on how we want to analysis this.
You got DQ'd for AFK. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
especially considering that
it was definitely rough that they ended up going like through with this.
The game.
You can actually report someone in the tournament lobby. That's insane.
Roaming around.
I didn't even know you.
Taken away by Alter Ego here.
Yeah, Alter Ego are coming in quickly, taking out the Ling, the Terizla. Now, you were mentioning bans last game, some of the things that you may have wanted to see. There is that Julian ban. There is that Xavier ban. Seems like already seeing things a little bit
coming into
different
the
than
pick and draft.
In the previous series. I like the Ling ban. I think a lot of teams have been banning out. Again, I just haven't seen
everything's looking good on my side.
The greatest Lings over here just yet, but the Xavier and the Julian, I respect them, especially for a game 1 ban. You don't know exactly what the other team's gonna bring, so just safe.
Could be a target ban.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Turn it up a bit.
Prio bans, but again, it does look like they are going to miss out on one of these bans here. For the side of Alter Ego, they go for 2 bans. That one last ban didn't come out in time, and now they're gonna go for the first pick in the draft for Alter Ego. Again,
Mirko is really soft right now.
1-1 being my favorite. I think it might just be picked up here for Alter Ego. We know how strong it really is currently in the meta, and
he just needs to up the gain on his mic a little bit.
And team fights
everywhere. I'm upping him
such a balanced hero.
By myself here.
You know, I've heard you on some previous casts.
It is kind of awkward.
You're a big Wanwan fan, right? Big Wanwan fan. Never gonna give up.
I can't wait to. I want to hear some really good
number one
play-by-play.
Wanwan fan. All right. Now maybe the miss ban was a strategy. Leave a little bit more open for yourselves on the first pick. Leave the Wanwan open. Leave the Karina open. They do swap up the Beatrix here, so sadly, no Wanwan for you, Mirko.
No 1-1, but it might just be picked up here by Meta, right? They are already hovering towards Faramis. Now, this is a hero that I wanted to touch on in game number 1.
I mean, it looks a little tired.
Fairness, after the revamp, I feel like
be.
it's just a really solid hero. It can be popped, it can be used as a roamer, as a mid laner, and I feel like it's all right? That ultimate is really, it just steals away the show in his kit.
Ooh, what in the world? What happened? Alter Ego throwing? No ban?
I feel like
come on, Alter Ego.
Selena does work better as a roamer when compared to as a mid laner. We did see that mid lane picked up in the first game by We Smoke You, and now it seems like the roamer Selena will be picked up with the Eve in that mid lane. But no, they actually swap out last second to that Angela.
Don't tell me that they're about to be AFK too.
The only problem I see with this, especially
I want a good
ever
game.
since Eve kind of got brought down, she's still an amazing. I think she's still an amazing mid laner. The problem is I feel like she really needs peel to be very, to really be able to make those plays, or else she's constantly worrying about her position, constantly stressing about that. In this, not really able to get the right angles because she'll always be getting jumped on by the enemy team. And when you pick up this Angela, you kind of give up a lot of those peel possibilities by using that as your roamer here.
Yeah, but again, this is really interesting to me, right? The fact that 1-1 hasn't been picked up by either one of these teams. But what's even more interesting is the fact that we already have two heavy shield heroes, right? We have the Angela with a hard guard. We have the Eve with the real world manipulation, giving them shielding, but we're not seeing that Esmeralda pickup just yet. Alter Ego, they opt to go for a Bauman and a Kufra for now, and they leave out the Esme.
I mean, it could have been like
to pick up. They can now fully just
I've seen people
on the
not
fact that
ban.
Esmeralda hasn't been picked up. They can actually just ignore it completely, ban it out in the second phase, and Alter Ego will have very little to respond to that shield.
I don't think that's something viable they'd want to do right now.
Pressure coming in from meta.
Yeah, Esmeralda would definitely be a very solid pick, I feel like, for meta right now. You don't only get a very solid EXP laner, but you take away something that would counter you very hard right now. So possibly a misplay from Alter Ego there. Maybe they have something up their sleeve here. Again, there are, they decide to first pick that Dairoth. A lot of teams seeming to really prio that right now. Of course, it is flexible. Annie is the jungler. I don't know if she's going to be staying on this Dairoth or not. They are putting that Petrify on it, so my guess is it's going to run over into the XP lane here.
Yeah. It should just be the Dairoth in the XP lane. We have seen that Dairoth go to the jungle before, but I think right now there's just a lot of different junglers to choose from that are meta, that are really good. I feel like Dairoth has actually just dropped in that
dude's name is gmail.com.
Look at the bans. It does seem like right now they're just trying on meta. They're trying to just narrow the picks down in the mid lane, putting that Lilia, putting the pressure. They already have 3 bans in total for that mid lane, and they might just go for another one here. They might just go for the Kagura.
They're supposed to, not in pick and ban though.
For something like perhaps a Sicilian here, right? Not a very good early game hero, especially considering that you can see the composition from
and
meta.
Angela, though. I haven't seen an Angela in the tournament do anything.
Opt to go for a Lunox ban here as their final ban, and 1-1 comes down from Alter Ego in the second phase, which is very interesting again, right?
Yeah.
The fact that they picked up Beatrix, they left out the 1-1, both teams.
Yeah, definitely a little iffy. Maybe meta planning to the rest of their comp bring out some bulkier things. Maybe bring out something tanky in the jungle, so you want to defend yourself against the Lunox. But again, I'm still a little questionable about it, wondering what they're going to lock in for the end. I know Annie and Too Easy have been kind of swapping between the jungle role, so
meta is probably going to pick up Claude.
On the opposite side, the 1-1 picked off. Probably going to... I thought we were going to see another gold laner ban here, but taking out the Karina instead. And
on my side, it keeps going 1440.
Picked up here. Maybe a hover. I do like the Clint right now. Of course, like compared to the Beatrix, I think the Beatrix overall utility-wise wins out. But Clint, towards the end game, not a whole lot of skill needed to just output some heavy damage. Can really just sit in the back lane and fire them shots. So one thing I'm still missing from the side of meta right now, no real peel for this Eve. Nothing really to defend them. It just looks like straight dive damage, and it could end up being a problem.
I mean,
we did actually see this kind of strategy at MSC, right?
Could
when
be
it
a
comes
comfort
to
pick.
peel, when it comes to cover, especially when Xavier is in your composition.
They decide for the Esme, though.
But wait a minute, again,
why do they have two
so
fighters?
Esmeralda gets picked up here, knowing that they did not ban it. It can be a very good hero to pick up for the side of Alter Ego, so they deny it from Alter Ego by picking it up. But that might mean that we're not getting a marksman in the side lanes for meta. And you can already see they're kind of going crazy with the picks here. They go for the Fanny, locked in for gmail.com there. Well, it's going to be swapped out, but Sicilian as well is being hovered, and I'm pretty sure it might just be picked up here. Yep, there you go. They already have that late game insurance. I think this is a very balanced composition from Alter Ego, and from the side of meta, they still go for... Yeah, is this going to be the Clint and the Gold and Dyroth in the jungle?
I'm thinking that, you know, we were talking about the possible flex from meta earlier, and I think that's going to be the strategy here. Throw Dyroth in the jungle. But one thing I got to focus on, are we going to see this Fanny in the off lane here? Okay. EXP lane Fanny.
Oh, wait. 3 retributions as of right now. They might be just, you know, they might just be doing this for show, but okay, there you go. You're right. It's the Fanny. Wait, that's that's
Potato.
A Vengeance Fanny here for Gmail.
I'm gonna mute them real fast. You can find all of the links to the official NA Mobile Legends NA, where it's being live streamed in the description of the video.
Some crazy things. I've seen Shark run Roam Fanny, make it work with the Petrify, early game pressure. I've seen the offlane Fanny a few times. Definitely not something I see every single game, but it does come into play here and there. Alter Ego pull off this kind of different comp, you know, making things a little bit changed up. Gmail is coming down the mid lane. Before we get any farther, this is Alter Ego up against Meta in the Land of Dawn, game 1 of the second series of tonight. You know, you mentioned you're going to be voting for Alter Ego, so in the scheme of things, I guess I'm going to put my money onto Meta here. We're already seeing a bit of an engage, Mirko.
Yeah, in the early game, this is what Alter Ego, I feel like, wanted to do. And this is actually, again, gmail.com, playing the Fanny, not in the side lane, but in the mid lane. They actually opted to put Sicilian into that gold, no, into the XP lane up against Esmeralda, just farming it up. So,
Fanny's
again,
mid lane.
We'll see how this works out. I don't know about this. Meta, with the pressure they have on the Esmeralda, you can just cut waves freely, and this will just give so much more map pressure over the meta. It's actually going to make it so hard for Aizen to even just path around his own jungle here, because again, he's always going to be spot out by
Meta.
I guess
for easy roam,
Esmeralda pushing into that jungle, trying to just
that
put
way
in
Fanny
some
can
pressure
roam more
towards Aizen.
Yeah, they're going to have to do something about Annie in this early game. Gmail almost getting a nice pick on a Destiny. He did end up swapping out the Vengeance for the Petrify. So these are the possible plays we could see in the future, trying to focus on that gold lane. But I think, I don't know, Alter Ego, I feel like you might want to deal with Annie here. If Annie can just bully around, bit of a Tyrant's Revenge there. Mikasa does get away safely. But if Annie can just bully around in that bottom lane, it's going to be a lot of trouble for Aizen.
Yeah, back again to that mid lane. Let's talk a little bit about that, right? Because Fanny, sure, early game, the kill pressure is insane. Wave clear, not that bad, but the thing is, you really need that purple buff to really push that early game, right? Without the purple buff, it's still viable. You can still look for kills, but it's just going to be really tough. Aizen and Howl, they're already positioning themselves for this turtle. So meta, they're already trying to maybe play for it. Gmail.com, just going in, using the cables, trying to look for something. That's going to be the Tyrant's Revenge connecting, and look at the damage coming in, almost taking down Mikasa there, who's forced to pop the sprint, and that's going to be the re-engage onto Kovsky. That's the real world inflation, locking him down, and gmail.com will still be able to run out. However, Annie, he is looking for more here. He actually is going to be able to maneuver himself away, but Aizen is waiting there. He's looking for something here. His Keith also
at least they don't have an AFK.
He goes in, but Howell's going to be the one who takes the retribution down. He goes in for another engage onto Aizen, but they do not over-commit here. They do not commit onto the dive. They pull back, play disciplinedly.
Yeah, definitely, and especially with the Heart Guard on you, you know, that's a point where a lot of players are like, all right, let's do this, let's dive, let's be aggressive, but meta, keeping it safe. They get a kill, they get a turtle, they take a 1,000 gold lead here, so I like the discipline from meta right now. Especially, you do have to be careful. You mentioned the early game possibilities of the Gmail of this Fanny. Yes, you don't have the blue buff, so I think it's gonna be slow, but there's a big kill from that Gmail. Speak of the devil. Now, the problem is now you have to go back to base, get that energy back. So if Alter Ego can continue to make that energy count on this Fanny, then maybe they can secure something here. Destiny a bit of trouble.
Oh my god.
Yeah, lethal counter is there. Will be popped by Aizen to secure the kill up
What
top.
a lethal counter.
Yeah, they get the lead here that they want, right? Sure, a kill lead, but not a gold lead.
I need some more
he
hype
goes in
from
way
these
too aggressively,
casters.
gets punished by the Turner's Revenge and the Rage, and gets comboed through by Alter Ego. They collapse onto him, and now it's that top side turret. Again, yes, meta, they've been able to get that bottom side pressure, but they're not getting objectives off of it. Alter Ego, they took that first turret down in that top side, and this is massive.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think maybe from Annie what we need to see is, yes, it's good that you're cutting this lane, but maybe, I mean, you cut this lane, so you're way ahead of Sicilian. Maybe rotate up, help out in this mid lane, put some pressure elsewhere on the map after you cut that lane, which we're seeing her do right now. But the problem is with the Fanny, with even Aizen rotating around this map, they know what they want to do. They focused hard on that gold lane from the very beginning, all the way to 4 minutes in, and they've taken that tower. At this point, Sicilian is swapping lanes with the Beatrix, so now Beatrix is going to farm up even more and more. Bit of an engage here.
Yeah, and he's still able to run away for a little bit there, but the lethal counter stops him in his tracks. That's going to be the Tyrant's Revenge and Rage as well from Kobski to lock Howl down. That's going to be a free turtle for Alter Ego. Aizen picks it up, and I'm
not going to lie.
wondering now, when does the Fanny get the purple buff, right? Because Aizen hasn't rotated, he hasn't pathed towards it. Is this the time perhaps to give it over to Gmail and just, you know, enable him to get more on the board?
And it's not a bad idea at all, honestly. You know, you get a little bit into the game, and then you just swap up. Aizen's still going to be very reliable in the bottom lane, though. Big Tyrant's Rage.
Yeah, unable to connect more onto anyone. They can't really punish anyone as of right now, but Annie, he's just clearing out the waves. Again, both teams, they don't really want to overcommit.
I wish we could really see Sicilian stacks.
In that mid lane, Destiny making a very good rotation into that mid lane, punishing the aggressive movements, the proactive movements from Alter Ego, and I think this is what they need to do, right? They have a pretty solid late game composition if it does go to that point, but Gmail.com now looking for some damage, doesn't get the cables onto anyone, will just be forced to back up with the poke coming in from meta, and in the bottom side, Milk pops into the mirror's passion, flickers forward, trying to get Annie in a solo 1v1 there, but Annie is too slick with it, is able to maneuver himself out of the shotgun range.
Yeah, Annie will be okay for now, and she is sitting at the death, so it is a problem a little bit. And as we're starting, Alter Ego just keeping up the pace, and I do like that. Here comes a possible engage on Annie here, down in the bottom lane. Annie with the falling Star Moon will connect.
Oh my god, with a hard guard as well. This is what we mentioned before. Annie's just going to be massive here with a hard guard. He dodges away from Kobski's Tyrant's Revenge. He's still able to maneuver himself out of here, but the lethal counter stops him once again. Howl, though, is here. However, to look for a re-engage, he goes for the some strike as well. Kobski will be able to finally catch Howl on that Tyrant's Rage. With Mikasa roaming into the bottom side as well, they will be able to zone Kobski away from his own turret, and it feels like it might just be another free turret going to the hands of Meta here.
Yeah, Meta actually finally catching their first tower here, so a good play from them. Starting to hit a bit of this mid-game spike, getting a bit more aggressive. Gmail just gets deleted there. I mean, and I think Gmail might want to slow down at this point. You got a nice steamroll in the very beginning, but now you have to kind of know when your time is to take a step back. Don't be as aggressive as you were in the first 3 minutes, because Meta definitely hitting a little bit of a spike here and able to output some damage to just literally catch Gmail.com on this Fanny right off the cables and knock her on the ground.
Yeah.
Like the Sicilian and the Bia swap lanes.
That seems to be the problem for Meta, right? They don't really have anyone to lock Gmail down, aside from maybe just damage, pure damage coming from Destiny, Howl, the ones who can actually just target him without landing skills, right? Just jumping onto him. But I feel like right now it's actually the Fanny who's really vulnerable because it doesn't have the purple buff. It's very easy to catch a Fanny without a purple buff because there you go, the energy, just it cannot, the damage and the cables will not be able to come through if he does not have that energy to push it out, to dish it out.
Yeah, the play is definitely to swap. And as I was mentioning earlier, you still have Aizen to capture those objectives. You still have the possibility for that, even if he doesn't take the blue buff, right? Like, you have the retro, you have the lethal counter, you have what pretty much his main focus is, his goal is. So why not just swap it over? But it seems like they don't want to do it. Destiny may just go down here. Heartguard does come in, and he may just be safe, but it might be time to go home.
Get a copyright
that was
strike.
A very good hard guard coming in, literally in the last second there to save him, as gmail.com was able to dish out so much damage with the cutthroat, but just that one tick of damage, one more HP left, wasn't able to take him down.
Constantly having to go back to base.
Are actually the ones who are pushing the pace. They're getting the turrets down as Kopsky looks for an engage there in the bottom side. Doesn't connect on the 6, but Destiny overextended. Will get punished by Aizen with the lethal counter. He gets picked off, but they will be able to find a trade in the mid lane. That's a mid lane turret going down for the price of a bottom side turret. It's still very much worth it for Meta as of right now.
Yeah, Meta finally finding their groove, it feels like. And even though they are behind in kills, they have a slight lack in gold, they seem to be controlling the map pretty well. Taking that mid tier 3 tower is huge. It's going to give them a bit more access, a bit more ability to rotate in the mid lane. Looks like a little bit of action possibly happening here.
Yeah, they go on to Annie, but the real world inflation will be able to lock them in place. As that's going to be Annie going to the back line, finishing Milk off, and they're looking for more here. Aizen trying to chase down Mikasa, who has the sprint, won't be able to do that. Annie goes in for Falling Star Moon, unable to connect, but Kopsky now, Tyrant's Revenge and Rage combo there with the help of Gmail, and the lethal counter to pick up the double kill. Meta, they overextended, were too aggressive. They could have gone for the Lord, but they get punished instead by Alter Ego.
Yeah, what a terrible time for that heart guard to wear off. She was doing so well for a moment there. Then you just see the Angela pop out, and both of them stomped on by the lethal counter. So we need to see a little bit better timing on some of those skills, a little bit more thinking during these fights in the way you're engaging, because like you said, they could have taken the Lord there, and now you're giving it over to Alter Ego. Lord will go down, Aizen takes it, and Hal now maybe a little too deep.
Yeah, look at that. Gmail.
Oh my god.
Goodness, with the cables is able to just maneuver himself to get the cutthroat onto the Yi. Haldo looking for the damage coming again. The Petrify comes through, but he will be the one who gets taken down. Keep once more.
Was the Lord worth it?
A double kill picked up by Meta and Alter Ego. They are making the same mistakes as Meta right now. They get the objective, but they are staying way too long. And instantly you can see the punish from Meta.
Yeah, Meta's just, I mean, yes, you get the Lord, but you lose 3 of your heroes. Definitely a win for Meta. They're going to melt out in this Lord, move on to this towers, and even once again, Meta, for a second, it feels like they lose, but they always seem to be coming back in this game and taking a bit more piece by piece. Yes, you win out in one team fight, but re-respond even harder. Annie now sitting at 3-3, too easy, 4-2. Destiny's the only one who's doesn't seem to be having a huge impact with this Clint right now, but still some amazing late game insurance with the Clint. Kind of starting to see this Fanny fall off as well for the side of Alter Ego. We saw her get that nice pick on a Destiny a second ago, but then you're out of energy, as you've been saying the whole game, no blue buff, and you're just a sitting duck getting completely taken out from Aizen there.
Oh man, you can already see this is what I like about Beatrix though, Trex, and the fact that you can just wait in the bush and play like an assassin, right? When you have that Wesker, when you have your first few items, it's just the power spike that hits. You can straight up just assassinate.
Okay.
Kopsky gets a very good pick into the mid lane. The lethal counter was not able to actually dish out enough damage to take Mikasa down, and there you go. Real world inflation, a lock keep in place, but the sprint there was popped. He will be able to get out. Annie looking for some damage onto Aizen, but he will still be able to pick up the Lethal Wanderer. And man, wait, Aizen has just been insane in this game. 7-0-1, and he's been really efficient with taking the paths here on the jungle.
Thanks for the sub, homie.
Kopsky with the follow-up. That's a kill.
Kopsky is
that was a beautiful follow-up there. And, you know, there's been a few times that
comfort pick.
Gmail.com has not been able to get the finish with the cutthroat, right? And you leave him at a sliver of health. But this time, Alter Ego, it's like the foresight was there. We know you're not going to be able to finish it, but we're going to come in right after you and help clean things up. So, nice plays continuing from Alter Ego. And as you mentioned, Aizen sitting at 7-0-2. Almost fully stacked out in items. He's only got 2 more to go. Cursed Helmet, Guardian Helmet, Dominance Ice in as well.
A lot of helmets.
He's literally got 3 hats on right now, just walking around the land of Dawn. Nothing is breaking that skull in as he continues to rampage through this game.
Yeah, I think right now would be a very good time to give the purple buff over to either Keep or Gmail. They end up giving it over to Keep, so the Sicilian will have more mana, will have more resources to dish out more damage, and I like that, right? Finally, we're seeing the purple buff actually being put onto someone who actually kind of needs it, right? Bauman, unfortunately, doesn't really need that purple buff, so Gmail, he is using his Fanny to somewhat just split pushing that bottom side, putting on some pressure, and forcing the Clint to just be nailed there. He cannot leave. If he leaves, he is going to lose a turret. And even in the mid lane here, Annie is able to open up the map, goes up the sprint, but it's going to be Howell who jumps into the green base, dishing out a lot of damage, but Milk is still there. Oh my god, they missed right. Not able to connect. It was actually a bait from Ultra Ego to bring them forward. Kovsky popping, charging it, and he goes in, but Destiny gets caught in the claws. Now, once again, they're going in, and Kovsky rage onto 2. The collapse comes through. Gmail.com looking for the back line, but the real world relation was able to trade Milk back in. Meta and Ultra Ego trading blow for blow. 1 for 2 right now, but Kovsky once again with the Tower's Revenge is able to find Mikasa, who is forced to back up with the sprint. Now Meta, they lose out on that 2 for 1, but it is still them controlling this map pressure.
Yeah, I mean, Kovsky just been making some really nice plays, especially now. I mean, in the beginning, didn't see anything crazy, but now he's really feels to be finding his groove, making some nice engages for his team. Even when that fight started to slow down a little bit, Kovsky comes back, dives across the whole mid lane, but Lord is up Mirko, and he wants to try to contest this.
Oh, let's see if they can keep, once again, just such a very good position here right now. He's able to go in, maneuver himself all the way to the back line. Gmail.com gets bursted down by the Clint, and Destiny, he's looking for more. Alter Ego, they got the Lord, but they might just lose all of their members here. Danny is still looking for more. Milk caught there, goes in from the Renner shot. Ultimate will not be able to find anyone, and they will back away. It's a 2 for 0 for Meta, but yeah, Alter Ego, they get the Lord.
And I'm thinking, you know, I'm like, is it worth it? And this is the second Lord Alter Ego has kind of whiffed a little bit, and I'm wondering if maybe you're forcing it. Yes, you went out on this big team fight, you go for Lord, and this is the second time you've lost 2 or 3 members while taking the Lord, and now you're getting nothing out of this push. So I think from here on, you got to kind of rethink it. Position yourself in that Lord. Use Kovsky to zone a little bit. Don't let any come in, but something happening in the bottom lane now.
Yeah, this is a very weird engager from Alter Ego. They're gonna get punished here, as that's 3 members taken down, and they lose 2 fatalities in that fight. So Meta, they've just gained a huge advantage this time around. They were able to actually equalize the gold lead as well.
Every time Alter Ego has an advantage, it seems like they're blowing it on either a misengage, taking a fight they just shouldn't. I feel like they were coming out on top in so many things, but every time, Gmail trying to engage, nothing too major though. Meta still winning in towers right now.
Yeah, Clint's almost
holding the lead,
one-shotting the
a little bit of a
Fanny.
gold lead, pretty much a dead even. Still feel like it could go either way. Both teams being pretty aggressive overall on the map. Something I wanted to mention earlier when you said Keep's name.
Clint's doing
we haven't
really
really
well to
talked about him
guard
a lot, and he
Eve.
only has 2 deaths. Earlier only had 1, and I wanted to talk about him then. Now he's got 2, so it's a little bit rougher, but still, as we're creeping into close to the 20-minute mark, another Lord coming. He should be getting those stacks up. He's going to start out putting more and more damage, which could become a major problem for Meta in this late game.
Yeah, they actually have also, if you take a look at the items here, 3 dominance ices here, okay? I understand they're up against a lot of shield, and there you go. That's the pressure that they have. The real world rage locks them in place with a Abyssal Strike to follow it through. Kovsky gonna get caught there, but Sanguine Falls will be able to help them disengage. Eisen caught, going for the damage once again. They're gonna be able to slow him down, and Killing Spree will be picked up by Mikasa. Meta here in the late game, they're pushing the pace, they're getting the damage done with Gmail.com with the cable. Oh! It's Destiny. The Sanguine Claws will be able to punish 1 member, but 6, he gets out with 1 HP. Still has that immortality, so not that much, you know, it wasn't much of a threat there. But again, Meta, they're playing this really well in this late stage of the game.
Yeah, and they're playing around with that real manipulation so well, right? Like, they're not really jumping out of range. They're waiting for the moment. Right there, we just saw all of Alter Ego grouped up. Mikasa lays down the real manipulation. 6 uses a heart guard to get onto 2 easy, or Annie in past fights, and they just keep it in that range. And you just see all of the members inside of the real manipulation slowly drop down in health. So Meta not taking fights when they're not ready, you know? When everyone has these ultimates and they have the combos ready to go, they make the play happen. Alter Ego needs to be careful of that. They can't be taking fights on meta's terms. They have to find their own way around this, because if they don't, they're just going to keep on falling inside that world manipulation.
Well, this might be it, right? Go for the pickoffs, and Howl, there you go. He gets caught out, and the burst comes through to collapse as well. Once again, Mikasa pops her ultimate out, but it will not actually be able to be followed up by anyone. Aizen goes very deep into that back line, and Alter Ego, they need to back out of this one, but maybe they can go for one more. Mikasa gets taken low, but Gmail, he jumps in, unfortunately unable to get that one basic attack down to finish Mikasa off, and it's still just a 1-for-0 for Alter Ego. But again, meta, they're the ones who have map pressure. They can contest the Lord, they can just go for it. Gmail.com forced to back away, and Kopsky, he's left all alone on the bottom side. He will be collapsed on, he will lose his immortality. He does go for a Tyrant's Rage onto 2, but it will not be able to be followed up through. Maybe I was wrong though. Gmail dishes out a lot of damage, but it was only on to the Roamer. 6 takes a lot, but he's gonna be able to recall, sustain back up. As Annie, he keeps on going here with that Ice Queen wall, is able to slow keep down, but it seems like meta don't really want to push it more, push forward more. They want to just back up. Gmail though, he has other plans. He wants to be the ones. He wants to be the one to go in for the proactive movement here. Again, no, he just gets caught out in the real world inflation again. And meta, they somehow were able to turn that around once again. It was 1-for-0. Now it's 2-for-1.
Yeah, Alter Ego needs to know when to back off. Meta, and it's I think it's become a problem for Gmail as well. He's going in for Mikasa, and then Destiny's just kind of sitting there like, oh, I'm waiting for you. Fires off first skill, fires off grenade bombardment, and just melts down. Lord does go over to meta.
7.
This time, this is their first Lord, though they have always responded well to the past Lords. This could be a bad position for Alter Ego here.
It's a very bad position. Like right now, the Sicilian hasn't been able to get any stacks in, right?
Like they just don't have
they've
damage.
Been fighting a whole lot. The skirmishes coming through. And take a look at the items, right? Sicilian was forced again because they left out so many of these sustain heroes.
Sicilian needs to get some penetration. Forced to build dominance ice for himself, right? Do you think he should have just went for if they did actually want more anti-healing? Should they have gone for an NOD here instead of a dominance ice for the Sicilian?
I mean, the Necklace of Durance, I don't really know how, like, yes, with the Bat's Feast,
they need
theory,
more damage.
It
They're
should work pretty well, right?
damage.
It should kind of drop everyone down, and then at least some of the rest of your team can pick up some magic defense to deal with Mikasa right now, because that is obviously their biggest issue. Real manipulation is shredding down Milk, all of those things, but enough item talk. Lord is crashing on this inhibitor, Mirko.
Yeah, top side taken down here by the Lord, and that's Mikasa again. Just, he knows when to pop this out, and because of that, Kopsky's engage will not be able to amount to anything in the top side, though. Gmail, he's gonna get outplayed. He gets out with one last cable. Look at meta. They're looking for the base this time around. Aizen jumps in for the damage, but he's gonna Kopsky, who jumps in once again for the Tyrant's Revenge. Doesn't get the Tyrant's Rage onto anyone. He gets kited and killed. The killing spree will be picked up by Destiny. They're looking to end the game, and they will do it. Game number 1 for meta.
Definitely very back and forth, but meta seemed to always kind of have the edge, right? Even when Alter Ego was winning out in those early game team fights, some flashy plays from gmail.com and everything, it seemed like meta had the
I just love that name.
in their eyesight. You know, they knew what they were doing, they had a plan, and they persecuted it perfectly. They take the game, 2015, a much longer game than what we saw earlier, 21 minutes. Definitely, I mean, a good fight from Alter Ego. I wanted to see Keep pop off a bit more. Maybe, like you said, he just wasn't able to get those stacks, getting choked out a little bit.
Someone said sweep for AE or 0-1.
Greatest, and maybe Necklace of Durance would have been the item to pull
greatest
in.
comeback
so
of
many
all.
dominance ices, and honestly, all of them are only sitting with one magic piece. Now also getting shredded down. Definitely something they need to think about in their next game if they want to try to pull this into game 3.
Kind of say that this was an upset, right? If we take a look at the polls here, it was actually Alter Ego who's winning at 69% to 31%. Yeah, meta, they showed up big time in that late stage of the game. Once that,
I'm gonna just put myself on the caster desk
around in that Lord fight, right? The first Lord fight, that was where Alter Ego had the advantage. They were actually able to get the Lord, but the fact that they lost 2 members means that, again, it's Meta who have map control, who can clear out the Lord, and who can just position themselves better. That's exactly what got them the win. Ultra Ego a little bit too aggressive in that bottom side.
The Fanny mid lane was rough.
3 members, they lose 2 immortalities, a lot of resources burnt. That was just the beginning of the end for them.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned too aggressive, and you stole the words out of my mouth. I was thinking trigger happy, right? And even with the composition, with the Fanny and all of this aggression, very, very trigger happy. Always wanting to take a fight, even when they were losing. Like Gmail continuing to come in and try to get to that back line. And as the game went on, the strategies started to dwindle off, and there just seemed to be no change up. You know, sometimes you have to know when, all right, we need to take a back foot now. We need to play in the defensive. We need to not play like we're winning this game throughout the whole thing, especially if you're starting to lose the game. Hopefully in this game, they do switch some things up. Maybe we don't see the Fanny this time. Maybe they, you know, switch the way they want to draft this out. But Meta
side lane wasn't enough for the
end. We'll be jumping into the draft. Meta this time will have first ban, first pick.
Yeah. Again, right? Maybe it's because of the fact that, again, this is being streamed. This is being streamed. There is a little bit more pressure on these players to perform. A lot of people are watching them.
Was
and
destroying
maybe because of that,
Same with the
getting a little bit
Dyroth.
too much momentum, right?
100%.
Adrenaline rush is a thing. They could be maybe too pumped with adrenaline. They're too aggressive because they're too hype, right? Especially because a lot of these teams, like you mentioned, are rookies. The players are rookies, and we'll just have to see in game number 2 whether or not they're able to calm themselves down, keep
throwing out shade, saying the teams are rookies.
Tough, especially for Ultra Ego, considering that right now Meta, they're at match point. One more game to end it all, and we can already see, like you mentioned, the first pick already taken by Meta. With the 1-1 ban, they're surely maybe trying to look for another Yve first pick.
Yeah, leaving themselves open. And the Eve worked so well for Mikasa, and even
that Ballmon.
The whole team just worked around it so well as well. It's not like she was just a great Eve player. The whole team knew how they wanted to take every single team fight. And even the Angela, I haven't seen. I mean, I know the Angela is popular for a lot of teams, the combos, pairing it up with the Ling, certain things like that, but definitely not the most meta pick, at least over here in NA, right? But they made it work very, very well. We were worried about the Esmeralda, and that was a definite miss from Alter Ego in the first draft. Hopefully they've collected themselves, they let the adrenaline go down, and they're ready for this second game. Akai getting picked off here, Valentina, Yve coming out, getting banned off from Alter Ego, so a solid ban from them, learning their lesson. This is going to force Meta to bring in something new.
Yeah, the respect is shown here in game number 2. We already saw
Meta
what
lock
the
in Charizla. You know you want it.
I agree with the game this time around, right? MVP was definitely Mikasa in game number 1. Just enabled the team so well. Was the initiator in a lot of these fights.
I didn't even notice Xavier's open.
The hero that was banned in game number 1. Xavier now on the hands of Mikasa. We'll see him on another high ground hero as we are going to take a look at Ultra Ego.
Xavier's going to be tough here.
Instantly on that Beatrix. Now, they picked Beatrix first in game number 1. Do they want to go for that again? Or, yes, here it is. I wanted to mention it. Terizla is open here in game 2.
Occasionally, when you fight a Nets, probably a Boxy would be there.
Maybe, or they can take this and put it as a roamer. That's something we've been seeing a whole lot of in Indonesia. Terizla, roamer, so much damage, a lot of good engage, and you're so tanky, man. You're so tanky on Terizla.
So when they pick up the Terizla roamer, we've seen a few teams try it. It hasn't really done super well. Do you still pick up like the Bloodlust Axe to give yourself some of that sustainability, or do you just go full tank on the roam Terizla?
It really depends, right? If you already have that initial lead, I feel like going for the Bloodlust Axe, just dealing out damage and sustaining based on your base damage alone would be great. But if it is somewhat even, or if you do fall behind on the Terizla roam, it is somewhat better to just go full tank. We need someone to just stay in front, take and soak in as much damage as possible. But again, now that they do have that Terizla picked up, it's time for Meta to now try to counterpick it. What do they want to pick in the gold lane, in the XP lane perhaps, against a Beatrix, against a Terizla? My bet would be a Yuzong here for the XP lane, but they instead are hovering over a clip that worked well in game number 1, and an Edith. Now, hey, this is an interesting pick. We haven't seen Edith in such a long time.
Dude,
hey,
Mirko's
she's
not
in the
letting
game.
T-R3X
Glad
talk.
to see her still in the game, because I haven't seen her literally, I think in 3 months, man. It's been a rough few patches.
Yeah, and what's funny is she does have like those CC capabilities. She does have the engage capabilities. Wondering if they're gonna opt to put her in the EXP lane up against this Terizla or as a roamer or something of that nature. I know a lot of teams have been favoring her as a roamer for those early game invade, like those early game pressure, trying to get some nice ganks off inside. Because if you get caught up in that, you know, the toss, the knock up, the whole chain of her skills, it's kind of like a death sentence.
Yeah, and you can see again the Balmond jungle being prioritized here for Alter Ego, and I can see why, right? Aizen, he was performing really well in game number 1, even despite his team losing in that early stage, right? He was always the consistent member. He was the one who's getting objectives on the board with the lethal counter, getting kills and picks, but yeah, so far we haven't really seen that much from Balmond, right? Even when he got that 7-kill lead, he wasn't really able to punish more in towards that late game. He does fall off. So currently it's the same ban coming in from both teams, Lilia and Karina, from the second phase of game 1. And if they follow the same trend,
they probably need to ban the Sicilian.
Again, the same exact bans. But I feel like right now it's a good chance for Alter Ego.
He needs to ban Claude.
To ban out. Okay, I think just the jungle, right? Just ban out
well,
some
not Claude. Claude's they already went Clint, so it's gonna be
ban one more jungler.
It's gonna be a tank, maybe Kufra.
Based on what we've seen, maybe the Fanny can be banned here, right? I mean, wait. They might just go for a ban towards Dairoth? Question mark.
Possibly. I mean, you've already taken out the Ling, you've already taken out the Karina. Obviously, they're thinking about this just as hard as you are.
Skipping to the cracks
we haven't seen a whole lot from 2EZ4. He played the Ballman last time. They're here, Dairoth. Good call on that one. I think he is pretty limited right now. I'm wondering what we're going to see from the jungle of the side of meta here. Do we see something kind of like a Lancelot? You know, something a bit more aggressive, damage base? I'm wondering, Aizen's keeping it simple with the Ballman, the same exact hero we saw him play last time. Yes, he did have a great record, but it wasn't enough to take the win, right? So I want to see a little bit of a switch up, and they have brought that with the Terizla, but right now they still have the Beatrix, they still have the Ballman. They need to maybe change something here. Kaboski played a great Kufra last time. I don't know how well that would do in this matchup. A couple possibilities open, wondering what we might see. You know, the Atlas is open right now, something that's been banned a lot. Could do maybe decent against the Edith and anything else that meta has in store.
Yeah, right now it does seem like Alter Ego, they're setting up for a front-to-back composition, right? They already have the Terizla, they have the Balmond, 2 beefy members in the front with the Beatrix in the back. Maybe now, get some more, maybe, I feel like, okay, they go for another frontline. Esmeralda gets picked up, so I was right.
You're
again,
right.
Terizla goes to the roam position. All right.
I mean, with them banning Dairoth, you knew they were going to go Esme.
Yes, that Ruby pick would actually be, that would be really good. That would really shut down the momentum coming in from Alter Ego, considering that they have 3 melee heroes in their composition. It gets locked in, and now Alter Ego, they need a solid mage. Yes. Oh, that just
Sicilian was going to be good
it's
too.
A full front to back composition.
Send him mid though this time.
And it's a multi-dimensional composition for meta.
But that Ruby can definitely
the Terizla will be able to get in the back. So can the Esme.
Especially because these melee heroes aren't like, they're not, I mean,
Terizla
Ballman's got some mobility. Yes, the Esmeralda has some mobility, but not like dash mobility, you know? And when they try to do this, if 6 can be there to catch them and stop them in their engages, it's going to be helpful for Mikasa and Destiny. Also with this kind of front-to-back composition from meta as well, I feel like that could be the breaking point right there for Alter Ego. They need to find a way to work around this Ruby on these engages, because if she's there to stop them, it is definitely going to be a problem.
I mean, right now, again, I'm gonna have to say Alter Ego, right? Just because I was right on some of the predictions, like the Dairoth ban and the Terizla roam, I'm gonna go still sticking with Alter Ego. I would love to see the series go full 3 games, right? 2-1 would be amazing to watch. But Trex, do you have the same opinion?
I always like a best of 3. I want to see competition. I'm not a big sweep fan. Of course, I mean, I do like watching it occasionally if it's like your team, or something, but I'd rather see a big competition, and it is possible. I wouldn't say that Alter Ego just got swamped last game. I wouldn't say that they just got completely destroyed or anything. They did have the early game, and they were even able to make some nice plays. They just kind of whiffed and made some rough plays during the Lord time. So I think this time what they need to do is approach the Lord in a different situation. If they do get an advantage, don't overkill. Take a step back, take a breath, evaluate the situation, and make your next play correctly.
Oh wow, this is a very aggressive movement from Alter Ego already in the early stage. They actually cancel out the regeneration as well, so Destiny, he's forced to back away. And Meta, they actually decide, they opt to go for the response by just going to the bottom side, so they're gonna actually lose out on the
Clint was literally their problem last game.
So Alter Ego didn't lose anything by making that play happen, and Meta didn't really punish Alter Ego for roaming that early in the game, so it's just really worth it right now for Alter Ego, especially for Milk in that gold lane, who's able to get, I think Destiny wasn't able to get the gold minion.
Yeah, not only that, so Alter Ego once again keeping some fast rotations. Last time, of course, they had the Fanny, so that was why we see the fast rotations. But even with this T-R3X as a roam, they seem to be wanting to move around, and they're focusing on this gold lane. Once again, they want to try to set Destiny back a little bit. Annie and Keith, having a bit of an endless battle here, nothing too major. Down in the bottom lane might be a little bit of action. Paquito, 2EZ4, trying to steal this camp away. So both teams kind of clashing it out right now. I do like the way Meta, I feel like Meta's been a bit more aggressive in the early game than what we saw last time. Kind of answering back to these early rotations that Alter Ego's trying to make, saying, no, this time you're not going to just go anywhere you want. We're going to meet you where you want to meet.
So far in the early stage though, it is very similar to game number 1. It is still Alter Ego who are controlling the map, getting that neutral objective, but yeah, there you go, Meta. Oh my god, and he just flickers forward, gets the honor there, gets the Earth Shatter, will be able to pick up the first blood as gmail.com with the T-R3X roam and the sprint is able to find one trade. That is still worth it for Alter Ego. They got the objective, they got a 1-for-1, and they get Mikasa. Of all the heroes there, they got the mid laner. This will give Kopsky so much time once again to stack into that mid lane.
Yeah, and we already saw Mikasa kind of falling behind in the mid lane earlier when that rotation happened, trying to clean up these minions as it comes towards her instead of being ahead in the rotation. So Alter Ego seem like they have a very solid early game in game 2. Like you said, controlling the map, keeping it up. But Meta seems to be okay with that, even in game 2. I think as long as they can, wait for that time, kind of like what we saw in game 1, because they did. Penalty zone coming in on a 6 here. He does flicker out, able to get away, but Melk does not want to let that happen. Melk will go down. A nice play from them.
Yeah, this is just why T-R3X feels so strong right now, right? The base damage from his abilities is just so insane. He also has that crazy engage potential with the ultimate. So right now they're looking for collapse again into that bottom lane. Mikasa, Mystic Field onto members, and look at the collapse. How gets the knockout strike, and the damage comes through. Meta, such very good patience there from How to just wait it out, waiting for Mikasa to get there to punish them.
And this is what we keep seeing from Meta, right? They're patient. That's what I can really give them in these past 2 games. They know to wait for the moment to strike off cam. Aizen will go down. Another beautiful pick from 6. I'm guessing we saw a 6 locking him up possibly, and 2EZ4 just coming in with a knockout punch. So Meta waiting for the moment to strike and finding it every single time throughout game 1. Game 2, gold now getting to about even. So as we creep into this mid game, Meta once again finding their spike.
This is, literally playing exactly the same as game number 1, right? Alter Ego with the initial neutral objective control. They lose out on 1 skirmish, and instantly Meta, they just recover from it. They get control, and now look at this. The T-R3X goes in with a sprint, and he will be punished instantly. The Dawning Light, and he with the ultimate, everyone just dealing out so much damage, and Alter Ego can't really withstand it right now. I don't know. Did the T-R3X go for the Bloodlust Axe like we mentioned, because they were pretty, ahead in the early stage? Because it feels like he's really squishy right now.
Yeah, taking a little bit too much damage. And again, the Paquito is doing pretty well right now. Too easy for Hal. He's 2-0-3, so you're going to have to be careful. He's got the War Axe locked in. T-R3X is going for Bloodlust Axe and hasn't even picked up any takey item other than those boots. So maybe they felt like they could keep up that early game that they had last time. But the problem is with that, you've now taken 2 deaths on gmail.com, right? And now he is very far behind, and he cannot be that frontline engager, not for a while at least.
Yeah, it's just going to be very, very tough here. That's going to be the engage once again from Hao, dishing out damage onto Gmail, who goes in for a little bit more. Sanguine Claws connecting onto Destiny, pulling him back towards the bad impact. But Meta, they are able to back away. Alter Ego don't commit into that fight. Hao still waiting in that bush, looking for to deal more damage on to Aizen. But both teams, yeah, they're just going back to their lanes, respective lanes. Destiny, respecting the damage, will just recall. He has lost a lot of HP. Not too sure where that came from. Was it the T-R3X or maybe perhaps was it Aizen? But yeah, both teams were just looking for skirmishes, and there you go. That's the Mystic Field to catch them out, and that's the kill picked up by Annie. A killing spree. Keep tries to look for compensation, goes in for the Falling Star Moon, but will be zoned away instead by Annie, who's just massive in this game, and they're looking for more. Mystic Field connecting at will. Mikasa has just been so on point from game 1 to game 2. Meta gets a huge lead here, 7-2 in the scoreboard.
Yeah, 7-2. 1,000 gold lead. Meta now taking a nice lead here. Not only that, but taking some towers on the map. Destiny now going to be able to rotate around a little bit, open up his field. We may see a bit more action coming from him. He hasn't taken a single death yet, which for me, for a gold laner in the early game, as long as you don't take any deaths, you don't really need any kills. Just farm up your items, get ready for the mid game so you can start making some strikes. One thing I got to say that I've noticed, Alter Ego has no real disengage. To whereas we have the Mystic Field from Mikasa, we have 6 who we knew was going to be a problem for Alter Ego this game. If Meta doesn't want to take a fight, they have a lot of possibilities to get away from it. They also have good possibilities to catch Alter Ego. Alter Ego, their only real engage right now is the penalty zone. Yes, you have the Falling Star Moon from Keep, but they're just kind of lacking, I feel, in that mechanic of these team fights.
Yeah, and it really feels like Alter Ego, they kind of want to contest these neutral objectives, but they are kind of hesitant with it, right? You can see it. Keep, he goes in, but the rest of the team are just not on the same page. And now Keep will actually be zoned away, isolated from the other members on his team. Gmail.com, he goes in 1v4. He doesn't get caught in the Mystic Field though, and Kopsky is able to find Destiny in the Sanguine Claws, but look at the item blended, pulling Kopsky back to play. The Dawning Light snipes him, and it's Alter Ego who are actually the ones who are able to pick up a trade in that mid lane. And I think it might be, yeah, I think right now it is worth it for Alter Ego to get a little bit more map pressure back by taking that mid lane turret.
Yeah, but Mikasa taking that death in the early game does not seem to be phasing her. Even early on in that scrim in the bottom, after she took the death, she was still outputting some decent damage. This is the problem with Xavier, right? Now he's already got some core items set in, Clock of Destiny, Lightning Truncheon, and that's really, I mean, at this phase of the game, that right there, we catch you off guard when all of you are grouped up. That Dawning Light is going to do an amazing amount of damage. Milk taking a bit too much. Penalty zone coming in here, Mirko.
Yeah, 6 gonna get caught there. Mystic Field again, and the Dawning Light finds another killing spree picked up by Mikasa. He's just dealing out so much damage. He's looking for one more. He will get it. It's a double kill from Mikasa, and man, Mikasa has just been so on point. The Mystic Field, the Dawning Light again, always so efficiently used just to chain in the damage to get the kills.
The good old-fashioned choke's coming right now, boys.
Try to come back from this, right? I mentioned that they'd have no real disengage. They're even at this point with gmail.com being so squishy, you know, opting for that Bloodlust X Firks. They have no one that can really engage without just getting melted down. He's also so behind on gold right now. Definitely a problem for Alter Ego here right now. And yes, he is a roam, and he's not like 2 behind 6 who's also a roam, but still opting for that Bloodlust may have been a huge problem. Lord is up right now, already down to 50% health. I don't know if Alter Ego wants to contest this.
I feel like it's going to be it's really tough to
I mean, it's 11-2 right now. They're having a rough time.
Gmail.com turning it around. They get the Sanguine Claws connected there, and they will be able to find Howl. That's the jungler down. That's a big member taken out already. 4v5 now with a 4v4 actually with Keep taken down on the bottom side, but Alter Ego seemed to have the advantage this time around because, again, the jungler was the one who was picked off from Meta.
Yeah, now we're finally seeing a little bit of patience from Alter Ego. Game 1, Alter Ego would have went straight for that Lord, but this time we even the playing field. You take one, we take one across the map, and now does look like there may be a contestation finally, as Annie is in the back wave, so in the bottom lane, so Alter Ego will have the advantage here.
It's all about Mikasa, how he positions here. He's gonna go.
I haven't seen Rouse in a while.
Right as well. They're able to combo it together. They get the double kill from Destiny, and the Lord will fall to the hands of Alter Ego. Mikasa way too aggressive there. Milk punishes him there, but again, it's Meta finding the better team fight on top of Alter Ego, who gets the Lord, the objective. They're the ones who have map pressure.
I'm watching a replay right now. I'm watching a replay. Alter Ego gets first Lord. Meta strikes back and takes the advantage over it.
I don't know what's going on right now.
Oh man, I'm offended.
What the heck was that?
That was beautiful, man. And the fact that it was comboed in instantly with the Mystic Field, instantly with the Dawning Light, that was just such good coordination coming through. And I mentioned it, right? It's all about Mikasa, how he positions in these team fights. And obviously it was 6 with a huge play, but the follow-up coming through was just so massive from Destiny and Mikasa.
Yeah,
the gold difference not too bad right now.
6, this Ruby has been coming in clutch as well.
I couldn't tell what was going on. It was so fast.
Stopping all the engages from Alter Ego. Doing a wonderful job. Destiny, I mentioned him a lot earlier, but 203, still not a single death. So even if I was trying to argue for Alter Ego's late game, you know, Meta still has a lot of stuff up their sleeves. If this game happens to go into the 20+ minute time, it's gonna definitely be a hard answer. Yes, they have Milk, but Milk is also falling far behind. Meta staying aggressive here up in the top lane.
Yeah, we've seen glimpses of brilliance from Alter Ego's composition, how they were able to pick up Howl in the skirmish early with the Ford of Lord. But again, oh my goodness, the Mystic Field just connects again, and they're able to find one more. Sanguine Claws, though, bringing them back, and that's going to be Gmail.com, who jumps in with a knockout, finding 2. Milk
it seemed like a Lord camp
there without the conceal. He's going to have to fall as well. 2 for 1 right now for Alter Ego. Are looking for more. Milk
coming in,
gets the shutdown, and picks up a double kill for himself. That's the 3 for 1 trade that we were talking about.
Interesting.
Really lock up these plays, these combos between all of their heroes. But Alter Ego, for the first time, I feel like in the past 2 games, finally landing some combos of their own. Gmail.com seeming a little bit bulkier finally. So I was a little worried about their late game possibilities, but now with the position of how that last team fight went, it does look like there's still a sliver of hope for Alter Ego.
Oh, another pick off here, but it might be 6 who gets time offended. He will be able to pop that out, and it's a bait, actually, for that backline to be targeted by Howl. 6 is the one still targeted. Penalty zone gonna be popped by Aizen to knock both of these members up, but look at the members who were taken down. It was 6 traded in for Kopsky, and that's a shutdown picked up by Howl. A double kill onto Kopsky, and Gmail.com falls as well. It's a disaster for Alter Ego. They're losing members left, right, and center. It's a 4 for 1 trade. Meta here.
Let's
again
go.
with the team fight to pick up the Lord.
Oh, I'm rooting for the wrong people.
Perfect for them. You know, they're sitting in this bush. 6 just walks right into them. But the moment that team fight evolved, you see Kopsky kind of fall off to the side. They all split up. And Xavier's for Hal smelt the blood in the water. He knew his job. He moved into that back line and just started picking up kills. Meta, once again, just showing dominance in these team fights, knowing how to make those split decisions. Even when it looks like it's going sour for you, they know how to turn a team fight around, and quickly. That wasn't a long team fight. They were just able to capitalize on a few small mistakes of Alter Ego.
And Charisla's not really able to hold back anybody.
This could be bad for Alter Ego. Can the game go down with this Lord, Mirko?
Comes down to, honestly, right? Yeah. The base, I feel like it could definitely be an end here for Meta. Oh, and my goodness, Annie ruthless on it. Goes in for the Earth Shadow Flicker combo. He does get Kopsky up, but Kopsky timed that Sanguine Claws almost to perfection, getting out of that combo. It would have been really, really bad for Alter Ego if they did lose Kopsky there. But look at the siege now, coming down. Bottom side and top side, going to be targeted by the Lord and also by Annie. Milk trying to clear it out. 6 looking for the engage once again. Goes in with the unoffended.
This is not looking good.
Only Gmail, who is the roamer. He is going to be able to look for the penalty zone once more. He only gets Howl there, but he will be able to burst it down. That's Alter Ego finding one in the siege. Meta looking for for more though. Mystic Field again connecting it well onto Aizen. It's actually going to keep him get targeted here. He goes in for the sprint to get out, but he falls. Gmail follows in very shortly there as it is going to be meta, just completely wiping them. Aizen still here to defend with Kopsky as well. The bad impact does a lot, but the Mystic Field will find him. And look at Annie. He's just so objective. He goes in for the base. It's a 2-0 clean sweep.
Meta, really.
Second,
I mean,
second clean sweep.
Definitely a team to keep my eyes on. I feel like playing it clean. Also, even with the off-brand pick like that Edith and Annie played it very well. I gotta say, I was a little worried about it at first, and she made it work. I mean, she was aggressive with it, but her teammates were always there. Mikasa, a rightful MVP, 7-2-9. Even taking a 2-minute death in the early game, was able to wipe the dust off and really just help keep the damage pumping out for her team, Mirko.
Oh, dude, honestly, there's just one thing that comes to my mind after these two games. After the series, Mikasa, this guy, he enables his team. He can follow through if his team was the one to initiate these fights, right? We've seen it 6. When he gets it done, Mikasa's always there to follow it. We don't have...
Will be first pick, first band, completely open. Wondering what we see here. Are we going to see some of the similar picks? The Xavier, the Julian, some of those things are.
Wan's always the first band.
I don't think we're ever going to get to see her, Mirko. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Unfortunately, maybe we're not gonna see Wanwan. Yeah, you're right. At this point, right, Wanwan has just been so dominant everywhere in the world. We saw this as well in MSC when the playoffs started. Yeah, goodbye Wanwan. Same thing here, knockout stage. It started, and we haven't seen Wanwan since it started. So right now, again, Wanwan first ban, followed up by a Valentina coming through from the side.
There's just so many bans, to be honest,
now,
that you have to do.
They just answered it. They want to go for the Julian first. They want to take these heroes away. And again, we are seeing this trend. Xavier, Yves have been left open so many times in this, in the first day of NACT so far. And is it because of the different playstyle and the different compositions that the NA teams use, because again, we got to talk a little bit about this. I've been playing a whole lot of ranked in the Indo server, and it's just Xavier, Yves bans all across the board.
Yeah, so how do you feel? I want to ask you, the Valentina, still very ban-worthy, do you feel? Like, do you think that she is still a major problem all the time?
I feel like T-Rex just literally only keeps asking Mirko
completely changes the dynamic
questions.
of a draft, especially if you get it locked in early. A team has to completely rethink the way they do things.
He's just like trying to
she
pick
did
his
get
brain
that
nonstop.
small nerf a little while ago, but a lot of teams still feel like she is a prio ban. She's a hero that I don't think we have seen yet from qualifiers to now, Mirko.
There it is. You said it best, right? That was exactly the phrase that I was going to go for. The fact is, yes, Valentina's pretty good in the early stage, can maybe snowball and get going and maybe just dictate the tempo of the game. But what makes her extra annoying is that the fact that when Hikaru picks Valentina up, ETHERAL, they're going to have to just base their whole hero draft pick around that Valentina. They can't pick anyone with crazy ultimates to give, right?
Got rid of
they
them,
can't let that
Masha.
Valentina. They can't enable the Valentina.
They're setting up for that Xavier first pick.
Sides, that's where it is. That's the
HIKARU
decision that they need
needs
to take,
to
whether or not they want to give it over to
Xavier.
Valentina. And that's why I feel like, yes, it is still worth it to be prioed in the early stage, especially in the first phase. And Valentina in general as well. Let's take away the ultimate. Still such a pretty strong hero, with the Terrify with the CC. And
they go for Ballman.
Bauman, finally, we're seeing the Bauman ban here. The Bauman respect. Bauman has been a favorite, but my
Layla?
goodness. Okay, I was about to say, if he just mopped that Eason Shin up, I would have been happy because I'm an Eason Shin player. But yeah, this is it. The Xavier was left open.
That's what I was saying,
First pick,
Xavier.
for sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they went for the Ballman over that Xavier, taking a risk there. Xavier gonna get locked in, but the Franco also open. And though, last series, I think there was a few games where no Franco ban, no Franco pick, but I know a lot of teams feel like he has a problem and he's either a prio pick or a prio ban. Esmeralda, Dairoff,
First time seeing Franco.
getting locked in quickly to counter the Esmeralda, so good pick from the side of ETHERAL here. And then the typical Beatrix gold liner Mirko.
All right, yo, Trex. This is exactly what I'm used to seeing in Indonesia. All right, finally we're getting back to Indo here, right? Xavier first pick, Esmeralda and Franco. These two heroes as well have just been super prio in the Indo server right now with the Dyrot to counter the Esmeralda and then the Beatrix as well. This is going exactly as I thought it would. You know, when I came into that first day, when I came into the first series, this is what I expected the drafts to look like. And finally, we get this version of the drafts in the third series of the day. And there you go, the Yves ban, right? So they're already starting to target, to narrow down that mid lane now that they already have the Xavier and the Beatrix in the gold lane. Jungle / mid lane. And for HIKARU, they want to take away the roamers here. Perhaps, yeah, just targeting the roamers would be the ideal way to go.
That former Greece.
Yeah,
let's go.
I mean, and even from the side of ETHERAL here, just continue to have to break down onto these mages, limit the pool, get away any real backline, but they decide to go for the Fanny instead. My guess, probably a target ban, but the Akai now, I mean, they're firing off right now. These teams definitely ready, knowing exactly what they want. The Akai coming in, gonna definitely put a hindrance on the decisions of any junglers that the side of ETHERAL want to pick here. You know, you don't want to do something. I don't think a fighter really does that well.
Yeah,
into
BTK
Akai.
already played.
I've been wondering how to actually deal with Akai, and this is something that I've been theorizing, right? Like, I think the marksman jungle is possibly the answer to deal with the Akai. You're able to keep your distance from him. The heavy spin doesn't really bother you, and you can just fire away at him and kind of dance around him a little bit. So the only problem is with the passive of YSS, you do want to get up close and personal here and there, right? So I'm wondering how this is going to work mechanically in some of these team fights.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the drafts, I think this is the fastest drafting phase we've seen today, right? Both of these teams just super fast, rapid firing these picks, and honestly, I like esports in the draft a little bit better here, just considering that again, if we take a look at ETHERAL, they have 3 somewhat mid to late game hero, right? When we're talking about Xavier, the Beatrix, and the Yi Sun-shin, it does come down to scaling, whether or not they're going to be able to get to that power spike fast enough. Because if we take a look at HIKARU, they have a lot of heroes take control of the game, take the control of the tempo early on with the Franco, with the Clint, and especially with that Harley. But ladies and gentlemen, we're jumping into the Land of Dawn for the third match of the day. Game number 1, ETHERAL taking on HIKARU Esports.
Yeah, and look at TCC right now on this Franco, already playing aggressive, possibly trying to get a cheeky hook off or something, but I got a feeling we might see a lot of hovering over this gold lane. You know, especially with the Franco, if you can get an early game hook onto Beatrix, onto Ispengoy, you'll put Clint at a really nice advantage. We've seen a lot of teams kind of do this, babysit around that gold lane more, send the tank over. The problem is when you do that, you leave your mid lane a bit more open for invades, a bit more open to get caught off guard. So it does look like TCC is going to come down. A little bit of fight over Lethal Wander will go into the hands of HIKARU, but definitely both teams just focusing on this laning phase, trying to get some gold into their jungler. I don't think we want to see... I think ETHERAL knows the opportunity with YSS. You want to get them farmed up. You want to kind of maybe focus for some late game. You also have this Xavier, super bursty. So maybe ETHERAL
right
just
now,
kind of taking the slow right here with all the
HIKARU.
late game potential on their team.
Surprise,
Very
Harley.
slow, yeah. That's what they want.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
If
I
you're
mean, this is the first time we've seen
now, you just
Harley, to
wanna
be
take it
honest,
slow. You
too.
want to look for trades on the map. You don't really want to clash with HIKARU, and I think that's what both teams are doing really well. HIKARU, knowing that they have that early game advantage, they're already pushing it. They're trying to get
I think they're going to try to shut down YSS and Bia with, and maybe even Ash Cutie with it.
Give Bariza on the Akai a little bit of an XP advantage over Chef, who is on the Yi Sun-shin. But you can already see that both of these junglers are pathing opposite from each other, right? It's interesting to me because I would actually expect Bariza to be going for the same exact route, going towards bottom side, but it looks like Chef here, he's overextending for that buff, for that jungle creep, and they might be punished. Remember, Bariza is level 4, he does have that heavy spin, he might just go and collapse onto here, but the bouncing ball will be able to stop him in his tracks, but there you go, the heavy spin finds Chef, and that's first blood presented to you, taken away by HIKARU. In that top side though, Namikaze is able to actually maneuver around Ezra's Abyssum Strike, taking him down with the deadly magic. That's the first turtle taken for free. Ash QT very close there, nearly getting hooked, but will still be able to get out.
Yeah, that is a huge
Ash
great
Cutie's a really good mage.
for HIKARU. One thing if they got to pick onto Zia's Fave or something like that, but they got to pick onto Chef. Someone that, as I mentioned, ETHERAL needs to farm. You need to let him get those items in so you can start outputting some damage. maybe ETHERAL shouldn't have been trying to steal those camps. Play slow, bloody hunt onto
Right
ZS
now.
Fave. ZS Fave getting away, which is a sliver of health. Phaeton decides not to force that engage. Down in the bottom, Mirko. Ezra getting bullied as well.
Be the mid game's gonna really tell, to be honest.
This matchup, right? The Dairoth up
right now,
against
HIKARU's
Esmeralda,
definitely doing better macros. Look at the gold plating right now.
But HIKARU, they're playing really intelligently here. They're always just pushing, putting the resources down below. The Akai has been roaming down below, I think now 2 times in the past 3 minutes, and it has put a lot of pressure on Ezra. And currently, he is actually going to be behind. So this might actually just be Kagome, who is going to be the one who wins out in the lane overall in this game. But in that top side,
I think Harley might have a problem with Xavier.
Almost nearly getting it onto ZS Fave, but yeah. Both teams,
if Harley just like flickers into one wrong Xavier CC, I think it'd be GG.
Now that there's no neutral objectives up to take.
Yeah, and HIKARU seems to be playing almost, this is the first time I'm seeing them like really grouped up as well. Yes, they did have that first engage in the bottom, but even then, you mentioned Bariza kind of taking the opposite route. And he was alone for a while there, to whereas ETHERAL really kind of keeping it together. Really trying to stop, I think, these invades on the Chef, stop these picks on the Chef, but a big hook on to Ispangoy. He will go down, and the tower may just fall next.
I mean, that double tank combo with
this,
tons of CC and control.
Nearly there for TCC. He's almost gone to crazy hooks, and there you go, another one from TCC. He brings Ash QT back, and that's a free kill from Namikaze, who can't sit with the deadly magic. ETHERAL, though, they're looking for the trade onto the turtle.
I think getting that
has already opened up this side of the map.
HIKARU getting that Franco was definitely the better play.
Too far. It is going to be Chef who takes it with a retribution, but look at the flanks. Bariza looking for the heavy. Pin him down to the falling Simon to collapse onto him with the flame shot as well. Perfectly coordinated there as they will find another. It's a 2-for-0 for HIKARU and TCC with another iron hook. This man is insane right now. He is on point.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, that is the reason why the Franco's getting banned so much. Namikaze is able to get the kill on Ash.
Yeah, they're trying to snowball hard
to salvage something here as well. So ETHERAL getting their first kill on the map there.
They're trying to show you that our
behind
just because we got Kid Scratch
into the hands of HIKARU. And even earlier, they
Kid Scratch logo. We come to play, baby.
Take a death and they lose their blue buff. HIKARU just seems to be a step ahead of them. Looking at some of these items right now, Ash Cutie with 2 deaths, falling very behind, almost 1,000 gold behind Harley right now, which Harley hasn't been a hero we've seen a whole lot, but HIKARU definitely using it very well, making some picks, keeping that early game aggression on, and if they keep up like this, they could make this a quick game.
Yeah, let's actually talk about the drafts again, right? Because I did kind of mention this. I said that I like HIKARU's draft better, and for this exact reason, the pickoff game is massive. And look at this, Bariza! He finds the heavy spin onto 2 members. Will he be able to pin them both? He does, but the Mystic Field will be able to be there to disengage from the fight. Phaeton, though, roaming from that gold lane, finding Ispangoy, and this is another 2 traded kills for nothing for the side of HIKARU as they look to siege down that mid turret. QT, he's being pinned down, he's being sandwiched. He is able to dodge away from the iron hook, but again, look at the map pressure. HIKARU just pushing on this pace as the deadly magic.
Oh man, that was fast.
Popped. He will be able to pop back to his.
What a hook!
Oh goodness, TCC.
Call that boy a hooker, my guy.
Finding Ash QT for the 2nd time this game.
Yeah, that is rough. 0-0-7 on TCC right now. He's not stealing any kills. The rest of the team is always there to make sure and capitalize on those iron hooks. And it just seems like they keep on coming. ETHERAL, I was mentioning earlier, they're playing very grouped up. Maybe you need to split up a little bit. Maybe come take these fights or disengage at a bit more angles because TC is just capitalizing. He doesn't even really have to, yes, he's made some great aims, but as long as ETHERAL stays in these tight pockets under these towers or these tight pockets in the jungle, TC is going to punish that. And
they have
we're
so much CC on HIKARU.
Also, I got to point out, man, Phaeton on this Clint just stood in the middle of a Nibiru's Passion and took down Espingoy. Just stood there. That's how you know he is so far ahead right now. Espingoy sitting at 1-2-0. Phaeton definitely scaling up. Towers getting picked away from ETHERAL right now. HIKARU owning this field.
Yeah, I mean, HIKARU, let's talk a little bit about Namikaze, who picked this Harley as a last pick in their draft. And I feel like that's the cherry on top for this draft, right? They would have such a big pick-off potential, but wait a minute. TCC looking for Iron Hook again. That's going to be Breeza who pins the tank down. And that's going to be the kill picked up. Nibiru's Passion and the Dawning Light almost taking Phaeton down, but the Flicker is there to get him to safety. Mystic Field onto 3. TCC missing on another Iron Hook, but they will be able to find a favorable trade once again. It's 1-0 right now for HIKARU. Zeus favors taking.
I think Atlas was
goodness. Again, TCC has just been so ruthless on these hooks. When he finally misses it, you know, you're like, okay, finally, we're back to reality. He's a human being. He's not a robot.
Yeah, I mean, and he's definitely, and it's just, and the thing I used to hate about the Franco was that he didn't really have a force engage. Zeus Fave coming in, Big Tyrant's Rage.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Zeus Fave, he goes in for the engage, but the thing is, even if they try to collapse, it's going to be them who gets taken down. Kagome going all the way to find that kill. The Dawning Light connects onto him, but at this point, it does not do enough damage. TCC looking for a cheeky hook. Deadly Magic burst Chef down, and that's him taken out. That's Namikaze again. 6-1-2. He is massive this game. This Harley pick that we've rarely seen, actually, like even in ranked
I mean,
games,
it's an
has just been so.
It's an 11K gold lead.
Yeah, and you know what?
They are
just
snowballing
right now because of the squishy composition brought by ETHERAL. They opted to go for this more damage. They brought in the YSS, something we haven't seen a whole bunch, but still possibly viable. But HIKARU saw the weakness and just picked it off. And yes, the Harley isn't something we see all the time, but it's working so well right now because
keep their
you've got
base
this
inhibitors. That'd be
constantly
about the only way they could win.
Pressure on ETHERAL, making them kind of decide on their placements around the map, and Namikaze is just waiting for that, waiting for someone to move a little bit away, find that moment, lock in that deadly magic, and Chef, Espingoy, or Ash Cutie are just going down instantly to it.
What can you do about it, right? That's the big question right now if you're ETHERAL. If you dodge away from the deadly magic, you're going to get hooked. You're going to get pinned down by the heavy spin. There's just so many resources that HIKARU can use to dish out damage, to take them, to pick them off the map. And there you go again, Breeza. He's at a point where he's just so tanky. He's going to be able to just zone these members away, and no one's going to be able to dish out damage. Look at him. He's taking the Mystic Field. He's taking most of the damage here, and he doesn't care. The minions are pushing through. The Lord was taken down by ETHERAL, but it is going to be the siege continuing. Zeus favorite once again going for the Tyrant's Revenge, but he's going to get
the Franco
with a bloody hunt. That is the damage coming through as well from the follow-up. Namikaze getting sniped down by Espingoy, so that is a kill traded. Iron Hook once again as Phaeton picks up a triple. He's looking for the Maniac. He goes in with a Dawning Light there from Ash QT, trying to clear out the waves. Phaeton looking for the Maniac here. He goes in for more damage, but he is inside of the base, and HIKARU will just finish off game number 1 just like that. 10 minutes into the game, no, 11 minutes I think was the 11 minutes was when they ended it.
That is, I mean, you mentioned resources for HIKARU, and they used every one of their resources so well in every single team fight.
MVP.
The hook, the deadly magic, the heavy spin. I mean, even Kagome, look at the kill cards right now. 2 deaths on the side of HIKARU, and the only people that took those was Namikaze. And I'm surprised Namikaze's sitting on this silver right now because the man was definitely making plays all around the map. Just HIKARU showing dominance from start to finish.
He was definitely cleaning up. 100% cleaning up.
This time, I think I might have to disagree with the game, right? They gave the MVP to Breeza. Sure, he was amazing this game, but
it's Franco.
I think we can agree that TCC stole the show here with his hooks.
Yeah, TCC definitely. I got a feeling if I could guess any band that's gonna come in game 2,
Franco.
It better be the Franco. If not, I'm losing all faith in you, ETHERAL. You guys better ban out that Franco.
They need to either ban it or pick it away, right? Those are the 2 options that they have, because they might just go. Well, no, actually, this time it might be HIKARU who goes for the first pick. So again, if they don't ban it, most probably could be first picked here. But now you know. Now we know, right? Franco. We've seen this hero banned a lot today, and that's the reason. That's the reason. He's just so lethal, especially on the hands of people who can play the hero like that. I think Zia's Franco, Shark's Franco was targeted earlier today in the first series, and we've seen a few Franco bans here and there in the second series.
Yeah, and you mentioned even like good Francos, right? Like honestly, Franco can be deadly in like the hands of a mediocre Franco player, because you land that one hook at 20 minutes, it can change a whole game, right? You land that one hook before the Lord fight, it can change a whole game, let alone in the hands of someone like we just saw TCC. And the rest of the team just worked around it. They worked around the composition so well. But the second draft is coming in. This time, the side of HIKARU Esports will be first pick, but it looks like they are actually going to ban out the Franco, showing maybe some possible chains ups. Maybe they actually want to prio something else. Maybe they want to prio the Xavier or something like that, so they don't want to forfeit over the Franco, right?
1-1, right? I mean, come on. And at this point, you need to see a 1-1 game, right?
I don't think so.
ETHERAL, I'm pretty sure they're not going to let that happen. They are going to be the ones probably forced to ban the 1-1. I think that's the HIKARU's approach in this draft. And again, we got the fastest draft ever. We also got the fastest break ever, because it just went straight to the draft again. And both of these teams, it feels like, yeah, they're just feeling it, man. They're just really hyped. They're going at it. The Bauman ban comes through once again from HIKARU. So you can already see that they respect this hero a lot. They know what Bauman brings to the table in the land of Dawn, and it might be a little bit too much for them to handle. So just taking it out of the way is a very intelligent move by them. Let's see about ETHERAL, because they're now the ones to, they're the ones who are forced to ban the 1-1, to ban maybe the Xavier. This is going to be all the picks that, HIKARU can take.
And speaking of some things that are still open, not only the Xavier, but the Valentina open right now. So one of those has to slip through the cracks, especially 1-1 off. Valentina and Xavier going to be on the map most likely right here. I'm wondering if ETHERAL is going to let this Valentina slip through or go for the Xavier ban.
At this point, I feel like you got to trade it, right? If you ban the Valentina, someone's going to pick up the Xavier. You can go for the Yves, but I feel like the Valentina would be better here in terms of, you can steal the ultimates. You can basically force the enemy team to adapt towards that Valentina. But no, they still go for the Valentina ban. So the Xavier is wide open, but they don't take it. It's the Esmeralda.
They go Esmeralda.
For HIKARU still. So very similar to game number 1. They always want to.
I haven't seen too many people actually pick Esmeralda first.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely important. But last time, they did it with the Franco. They got some nice material out of it. Esmeralda up front like that, when you have a lot of high tier heroes on the field, I'm a little upset by it, And again, yes, what was it? The Esmeralda was against the Dairoth last game, right? And Dairoth could not handle it, so maybe Kagome does just feel very comfortable, and it feels like, listen, I'm gonna beat out whatever EXP lane they pick. We need to make this a prio for us, because again, if that EXP lane, if you can really dominate in your EXP lane, it makes a huge difference overall on the map. I feel like, especially for a hero like Esmeralda.
Very huge, right? But for that exact reason, that's why we're seeing the Dairoth come through for ETHERAL. They pick up this Dairoth, again, trying to get that winning lane over to Esmeralda. It didn't really work out in game number 1, but now, since the Franco is gone, it might work now, right? It might be the X factor to change that lane for the better for HIKARU. Now, Dairoth picked up once again. They still feel like they could have won that lane, and they're going to try to do that right here. Bariza, though, they want to go for the Akai again. It is still wide open for them to take. They can also go for perhaps a different jungler this time. Karina still up. Nope. Bariza still staying. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're going for the exact same composition, aside from the Franco.
You stole the words right out of my mouth. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Phaeton, wonderful job on the Clint. Bariza did a great job on the Akai, was able to, even in the early game, put pressure on the Dairoth to help give Kagome that early game advantage. But the thing is so ETHERAL does need to fix it, right? So we're seeing the Sicilian come on. Yes, I think there's a little bit more late game possibilities, but you kind of give up the range and the CC possibilities. I just personally like I like Xavier's CC a little bit better. I like the Dawning Light range. I like the possibilities and the utilities from Xavier a bit better. But paired with the Atlas, there are some nice opportunities, I would say, some nice combo opportunities coming from this Sicilian, the Abysm Strike from this Dairoth, and then the Fatal Links from this Atlas.
I do feel though that this Atlas will still, I like it. They want to go for these full team fight, a full team fight composition, a dive composition perhaps, you know, with the Diggy Band as well. But the thing is, right, Esmeralda, Akai, there's a lot of resources that right now Hikaru can use to cancel Atlas out, to just zone him away before he even tries to look for this engage. And the thing is, we might see also different battle spells coming through here. Last game, Kagome went for the sprint, Phaeton went for the flicker. That's what we're seeing right now on screen too. But they can't change it to Purify. They can just respect the Atlas, go for the Purify, and Atlas might just, you know,
I can tell you in a second.
Lose his engage basically.
Yeah, and even if they don't want to go for that, like with the Akai, you could go for the pins. Like, of course, the Akai can always be aggressive and goes for the pins, but Akai can also just be a great disengager and and stop those fights, and make you essentially waste your kit. You know, everyone comes in for this. You try to use the Fatal Links, and if the side of Hikaru doesn't want to take that fight, they have plenty of ways to just leave it, get away, and stop it. So I see right now, Hikaru, we're going to take these fights on our terms, however we want them. So the question is, what does ETHERAL do to answer that?
What do they do to answer that? Right now, they're up against a Clint, Akai, and Esmeralda. They need a goal lane. They need a solid goal laner right now. One who... I feel like Beatrix is still the answer here, right? It didn't really work out in game number 1, but I feel like it's, again, because of the Franco that was just such a menace all across the map. This time, they can pick up the Beatrix again. It is going to be somewhat safer, but no, they actually opt to go for a Claude here in game number 2, which I feel like is going to be bullied quite a bit by Clint in the laning phase. Namikaze, though, he still wants to go, I guess, for the Harley. He's hovering over Farsa as well.
I don't see the player one, so...
what they end up going for.
I'm going to say,
here.
I don't think I've seen him winning too much.
He's just going for a lot of different picks here. You know, Lolita, Estes, Faramis. I think the Faramis will be pretty solid up against a team fight composition that Ethereal has, but yeah, Estes works too, honestly, right now.
Yeah, Faramis is definitely...
You don't want Faramis here. You'd be pulling Atlas into people.
We haven't gotten to see a lot in these phases, but I have seen some teams run in scrims. That, you know, the pull that he has now, the mobility, but TCC picking up a Paquito. I'm wondering if there's going to be a swap here. Like maybe TCC picks up the Akai as a roam, and then maybe Paquito becomes the jungle, or is TCC really going to run Paquito roam here?
I think they should be going for a trade, right? Paquito in the roam position doesn't really work anymore. I mean, technically it is. You can still play it. I don't think it's that efficient anymore right now, considering that his base damage was nerfed already. You know, I'm open to see it, but the Thames pick right now it's gonna be locked in there for the jungle. So they've learned from game number 1. They need more frontliners. They need more beefy members. And as we predicted, the Paquito will swap over with the Akai. It is gonna be TCC on the Akai. We saw him on the Franco. I want to see what he can bring to the Land of Dawn with this Akai going up against this beefy lineup that Ethereal has.
And there was a last-minute switch as well on the side of ETHERAL. Dairoth going into the jungle position. Thamu's going to be in the off lane, so maybe a possible answer. And I was a little worried about seeing either Dairoth or Thamus go up against the Akai. And I think the Akai is really going to be one of the major problems for the side of ETHERAL right now. Anytime any of them try to jump in, he's going to cause a big problem.
Yeah, I agree. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to game number 2. HIKARU Esports. They need to get this to get the clean sweep of Ethereal. If they want to stay in NACT, they're going to have to force a 3rd game in the series by winning this one out. With their composition, we're already seeing some progress, adaptations from Ethereal. Let's see if they're able to withstand the pressure. It looks like Zia's favorite wants to go for that pressure in early game, losing out in the damage department up against TCC on the Akai. We all know that base damage on the Akai after the revamp. He's been pretty insane, man.
Yeah, I think ETHERAL really needs to try to, maybe get Ispingoy ahead a little bit. Phaeton became a very big problem towards the end game. Of course, like, he didn't make any of those flashy plays that TCC played. A little bit of engage over this little Wanderer.
What in the world? Where'd the screen go?
HIKARU there. But as I was saying, yes, Phaeton wasn't like making any super big plays, but first blood on to Namikaze. Ezra securing that. That is good. ETHERAL this time bringing some early game aggression here, Mirko.
Yeah, this is what we want to see from ETHERAL, right? That was what's lacking from their composition in game number 1 from their draft. And that's why I felt like HIKARU had just the better draft overall in game number 1. This time, it's a little bit more fair in that early stage of the game. If ETHERAL are able to actually use that early game pressure to get more advantages on the map, it's going to be huge, right? Chef, particularly on this Daryth in the jungle, is going to be able to dish out so much damage. Just as they say that, he almost takes TCC down. ZSFev trying to get more on the board by maybe putting some damage onto Phaeton, but Phaeton is still able to get out of that perfect match, and ETHERAL will just choose to roam, to rotate over towards the turtle that is spawning in 4 seconds. Bariza, though, goes over the knockout strike 2 times onto ZSFev. No follow-up as of right now from the other members of HIKARU. Both teams just try to look for this turtle.
And this is what I wanted to see from ETHERAL. I want to see a bit more play onto these side lanes. I want to see you actually putting pressure, kind of like what HIKARU was doing to ETHERAL last game. But first turtle is up. Bit of an engage here, Mirko.
Yeah, perfect match for Pop, but it's going to get taken down there. That's going to be Bariza with the retribution. Very well placed. Chef gets pinned in the heavy spin. Ezra forced to back away as ETHERAL will lose down in the trade. 1 for 0 and the turtle as well. They're going to be able to get so much gold from this mid lane turret and the purple buff on top of that. HIKARU, they know when to punish, and they're so good at making these decisions in the early stage of the game.
Yeah, they definitely, and just like that, it's HIKARU kind of takes this game back into their hands, taking a nice gold lead, 1,300. HIKARU feeling comfortable. I was a little worried about Namikaze here in the early game. He got that early game death. Maybe not as many targets for a Harley as there was in game 1. So I mean, all he can really do is try to focus on Ispingoy here, try to focus on Ash Cutie, because Ezra, ZSFev, and Chef aren't going to go down that easily. They're not going to be as simple of targets. So wondering if this Harley is going to fit as well into the next game. TCC coming in with the heavy spin, keeping the disengage. At first I thought he was going to try to make a play, but he, like we mentioned, able to get Phaeton away from a bad situation.
Yeah, I mean, you said this, right? You said this in the draft. Akai, not only can he look for crazy engages, pickoffs, but disengages. That's the thing that Akai can provide, more than just engages. And that's where you see it. That's where you see the Atlas. We mentioned this as well in the drafts. Atlas is going to struggle up against so much TC here. Bariza can cancel him out. We can see that TCC can do it as well. And everyone else
good set
can just flicker out of
yeah.
the way, right? It's just going to be a tough game for ZSFev right now. For that Atlas to really find these picks, and especially now Ash QT, he's gonna be very, very vulnerable. That's a sanguine clause though, reading it out. Namikaze jumping with the deadly magic onto the back line. Oh my god, look at the fatal links bringing him back, but the damage there will not be enough. It's actually Ezra who gets pinned back into the turret, gets taken down even with the vengeance and his ultimate on. It's still HIKARU getting an equal trade. Phaeton though getting caught there, getting caught in the perfect match.
HIKARU's looking really good.
Again onto Ash QT. Kagome going for the falling star, knocking him in place.
This Paquito is slapping.
That's the follow-up from Bariza, who's looking for more on the board. TCC jumping in. ZSFev caught, but will have the perfect match to disengage, as that is another neutral objective taken away for free for HIKARU Esports.
That is rough for ETHERAL, and I think at this point, you're just from that right there, you get this nice fatal links in, but just no real damage to back it up. ETHERAL maybe needs to bide a bit more time. Wait till you can get Ispingoy involved in this. Wait till Ash Cutie maybe gets a few more stacks before you try to make any huge plays. Yes, you got a nice pick in the early game with Ezra, but that doesn't mean you can act too crazy. You still gotta kind of watch your P's and Q's.
Yeah, HIKARU's good at countering right now.
When it comes down to these big 5v5 clashes later in the game, I think ZSFev maybe doesn't want to be the initial engage. Maybe let Ezra go in for the bait. Maybe let someone else kind of go in for the bait, catch them off guard, so then ZSFev can come in and catch HIKARU off guard, right? Because it's going to be so hard to just land a Fatal Link straight on, but a little bit of a concealed play. TCC keeping ETHERAL at bay right now and doing such a wonderful job at it.
Yeah, I completely agree with the statement you made. Again, ETHERAL, they need to try to bait that heavy spin out on the top side. Though Phaeton going to get caught in the blazing duet. TCC going for the heavy spin, almost pinning Ispangoy down as Bariza jumps in to try to follow that up. But Ispangoy, he brought the flicker for a reason. He was able to maneuver himself out of that heavy spin. But Bariza is looking to maybe pressure him under the turret. We'll just go in for that minion in the jungle. He backs off, knowing that Zia's Fav is here in that top side to provide backup.
Yes, Mongoy needs to be careful here. Bariza sitting at 3-0-1 right now. At 6 minutes, I can guarantee that Paquito is packing a strong punch. Has locked in the War Axe. The Spave caught off guard. Shredded down from Namikaze there. HIKARU just, even without the Franco, making picks on the map.
Yeah, and you can see Bariza here getting the retribution onto the orange buff. The heavy spin again by TCC. So on point, using it at the right moments as Phaeton just dishes out damage onto Ispangoy under his turret. That's going to be a free turtle. Uncontested once again for ETHERAL. They can't really look for this, right? It's another free one for HIKARU Esports. They take it, and ETHERAL kind of right now falling behind. They're losing, they're getting picked off in the map, and these neutral objectives also, they're not really able to contest these.
TCC, dude, TCC was absolutely doing good in the last one. 100% the MVP.
That's a bad sign, right? When Harley can burst your roamer down, can burst your tank down, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, and look at Ash Cutie picking up the Athena's shield as first item just because you're worried about Namikaze, right? So instead of going for like Clock of Destiny or something like that up front, you pick up a nice defensive item. So it's going to take, and this is maybe the reason why, yes, the Sicilian is an early game, but I feel like normally I see a bit more damage from one now.
My predictions are a bit off.
Most likely the reason in the mid, Ash Cutie getting focused on by Namikaze, so I guess it is a good thing. Gonna be forced to go back to base there. Big thing happening to Chef right now. Heavy spin and Bariza gets the kill. Namikaze though getting picked off in the mid lane as well, Mirko.
It's good to see people perform like this.
So much action going on. Look at that. Everywhere on the map. The bottom side, Chef gets taken down. In the mid lane, Namikaze is the one who gets picked off. But again, HIKARU, they're so good at just chaining kills together with objectives. This objective conversion has been the name of the game. Is that's going to be Ezra who gets pinned once again as Phaeton will be there to provide the damage. Bariza now caught in the bad situation. As Zia's Fab looks for the re-engage. He jumps in, but he gets cancelled away by TCC. Bariza dodges away from the bad impact. He gets out and Phaeton punishes Ispangoy. It's a disaster for ETHERAL as Ash QT will be forced to run away. Ready? Take a look at the replay. Oh my goodness.
First you take out Ezra, and then TCC finding this position. Ash Cutie trying to run away. Zia's Spave tries to get the engage, but it immediately gets knocked up from TCC. And time again, we talked about it the whole draft. We talked about it in the beginning of the game. And HIKARU is not disappointing, keeping it textbook, making the plays that matter. Zia's Fave has landed, I think, more than one man fatal links throughout this whole game, and that is going to be a problem if they continue to make these engages the way they are. Is there even an answer for it, honestly, Mirko?
I'm actually surprised with such a huge gold lead that they're not like absolutely destroying the game right now.
To appreciate that knockout strike, the way he used it to dodge away from the bad impact. At this point,
we told Dave about the audio issue.
Can really, the way they can win this game is if they turtle, wait for their power spikes in the base. But the thing is, they're going to have to also they're going to have to wait for HIKARU to make a mistake, right? And at this point, it's going to be really tough because HIKARU, they've been playing so disciplinedly, even in these skirmishes, these little skirmishes, they've been playing really well. The decision-making that they've been doing in this game has been phenomenal. And ETHERAL, they're going to have to bank on them making a mistake to come back into this game. Because if not, they're just going to siege it disciplinedly, take it, and...
Yeah, we told them, like, bro, we need audio during instant replays. We were kind of lost.
More time practicing than working on that logo. Ezra getting caught off guard. Once again, maybe a little out of position there.
More practicing than working on the logo.
HIKARU, man, just being so dominant. Blazing Duet comes out, gonna be able to flicker away, but the pressure continues beyond as the Lord comes in onto this inhibitor, Mirko.
Yeah, the logo is a curveball, man. The logo is a curveball, right? You think that they don't care, but it turns out they're really good and they put so much effort. You can already tell, right? They are a prepared team. They came to this prepared in the draft, and look at this fatal lace. Dodged away from it. Only finds TCC, and that's not the member you want to look for. Namikaze gets a good flank onto Ispangoy, gets him low, down to a quarter of his HP, and that's gonna be Bariza free to walk up to the turret to take it down with the help of Kagome. That's base turret number 1 taken down. They're looking for more on the board. Bottom side base turret already at a quarter of its HP. HIKARU, they can just play the long game now. They can just freeze up the waves, look for the Lord, and continue the siege later. Or they could try to look for a gamble. Maybe a team fight here to end the game right here, right now. TCC, he goes over the heavy spin, unable to find that wall on Zia's fab, but let's take a look at the items, Trex.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, as we can see, HIKARU very, very ahead. Esmeralda sitting at 8,000, a whole 3,000 above the XP laner Ezra on the side of ETHERAL. Just, I mean, and that's not what you want to be.
I mean, the choke's happening. They don't even have any towers.
Berserker's Fury, Malefic Roar, Endless Battle. You have everything you need at this point. He's just really going over the top now, starting to work on this Blade of Despair. Phaeton, once again, just game 1. Again, didn't, got a little outshined by TCC, but I still feel like the damage is there. Phaeton definitely
TCC
just outputting.
knows how to play.
I also want to focus on Namikaze earlier.
Good tanks are the key to winning.
Namikaze, he didn't get a pick, but the way he came in towards the end of that fight, around the angle, it's like he's always just sitting there. He's not in the midst of these fights, but he has nice positions, always trying to come in from the side and find a weak point in ETHERAL, get into that back lane, and it just goes to show the discipline from some of the players on the side of HIKARU right now.
The discipline is key for HIKARU right now.
Yeah, I don't think minions even hit the tower.
They really don't need to push further. They can just freeze up the waves, and they don't need to take any risks. The Lord is free at this point. Look at the map control. Their turrets are still all up. This is just so much map control for them to play with. They can play in the enemy jungle, and ETHERAL can't really do much about it. If they face check into their own jungle, they're going to be the ones who get punished, right? And there you go. Like I said, free Lord. They need 4 members to walk up together to pick up a purple buff. And TCC finds the heavy spin as QT gets pinned. He's going to fall with a fatal link. Brings 3 members with blazing duet, but the combo will not be enough damage.
Just not enough damage.
It's not there at all for ETHERAL. Even amidst all of that chaos, it's Phaeton who gets the triple kill. He's again looking for the
God.
Gets bursted down.
Oh my God! Stop him!
By Phaeton here, who's looking for the Savage. Just one more to find that Savage. They might just go for the end here. Chef, full HP. They're looking. They want to give it to him. And the Savage for Phaeton as they end it with a clean sweep, 2-0.
First Savage of the tournament on day 1. Phaeton. I mean, the man just dived into that base unscared, knowing that his items were there. And I was talking about how he's just building full damage. I mean, at that point, the show he gave, definitely worth it.
I am just speechless, man. Honestly, like, that was a good game. That was a really good game. TCC again.
That's what I'm saying.
Damage came from Phaeton.
I just got catfish,
we saw
bro.
with a lot of moments, but oh man, I can't. I just like he needs to give it to TCC. He's so on point on the heavy spins, this Akai, and I said,
I don't know, man.
He's got to prove us on the Akai. He proved us on the Franco, and he certainly did on the Akai as well. Insane stat line, and look at that team fight participation.
Yeah, and oh my God, that last play, ETHERAL thinks they're all good taking their blue buff, and they just catch them off guard. TC comes around.
Chat, I do have something
right in
good
between the
for
wall
you.
and the jungle. And just